the tape, bro. Run 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 the tape, the tape. Run the tape, bro. Run the tape, bro. Run the tape, bro. The tape. UGA game day, boy, we ball out. Pull up, put the whole conference in the doghouse. Leave them 6 feet, see me on the win streak. All-star status, go coach, and the bench deep. Right. Offense on 10, how we run it? Your best ain't nothing, we gon' send them boys punting. Yep. Black and red, got them dead on arrival. Defense hunkered down for the tie. Hey, you don't want it with the dogs. Film guy on it, you don't want it with my dog. Break it down, play by play, that's the day-to-day. Yeah. They know we ain't come to play, boy, it's UGA. Right. Kirby Smart, I cannot play the fool. Back to back, we did not come to lose. Back to back, like we got something to prove. Pay your dues, dog nation on the move. What's up?
We do a little bit different around here.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Shut up and grind the tape.
The tape, the tape.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Them dogs in your face.
Let's grind.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Shut up and grind the tape.
Shut up. Let's grind.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Them dogs in your face. Shut up and grind.
Let's grind.
Run the tape, bro. Run the tape, bro. Run the tape.
The tape, the
Shut
tape.
up and grind.
Let's grind.
Run the tape, bro. Run the tape, bro. Run the tape, bro. Shut up and grind. Run the tape, bro. Run the tape, bro. Run the tape. Shut up and grind. Run the tape, bro. Run the tape, bro. Run the tape, bro.
Shut up. The tape.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What's up? You really like that?
Let's shut up and grind some tape.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in to a Frozen Film Guide Network here on a Wednesday afternoon. You know what that is, Jonathan? That is the ops opping first and foremost. But what that is, that's ultra grind. That is StreamYard telling us, whoa, hey, too much. Streamlabs, rather. Streamlabs being like, hey, bro, way too much. Y'all working way too hard. Y'all out here recording half a dozen film studies. I looked at our iPad, my you know, they got the screen time things now. I sent this to you before the show. I watch 9 hours of film every year or every week. 2.5 hours a day is what it said today. I don't know how the math is mathing on that, but to this point, it was 9 hours to this point in the week. That's what it was.
I got you.
9 hours to this point in the week. I'm watching 2.5 hours of film a day. And that means half of that's on footage. Like we're in here recording that for the audience. So yeah, I think that's what that is. That's Streamlabs literally tapping out on us like it tends to do. Welcome in to the show here on an absolutely loaded Wednesday. As usual, we got a great show for you guys tonight. James Franklin, a potential new home. So says the message boards. We're going to run with it as if it's fact tonight. Because why else? Why not? It's going to be fun. We got a governor taking a shot at what I guess is an athletic director. I don't think you can be an athletic director if they don't trust you to hire a head football coach. We're going to talk about that out there in Louisiana tonight as well. We got film notes on what is shaping up to be one of the best young offensive tackles we've studied on this network in a while. Boy, did we have a blast studying David Stanners today. Hope you watched it. If you didn't, you missed out. What If Wednesday here on a Wednesday, as usual. And, of course, we've got our predictions here on a Wednesday. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button, like, subscribing, rate, and review. And if it's your first time with us tonight, welcome in. We appreciate having you tonight. I am the film guy. That is my man Christian Kirby over there, and big homie Stretch, Jay Will, in with us as well as always. We got a great one for you. Let's get after it. Boys, James Franklin being circled out there in Blacksburg, Virginia as the next potential head coach at Virginia Tech. So says the message boards. So says the internet. AJ Will. Mm-hmm. Even so much so they got mentioned like rumored floated salaries out there at Virginia Tech.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember exactly where I saw it, but I remember seeing something along the lines of they might give him $10 million if he does end up there.
It seems weird to me. This is my first thought when I wrote the notes today. Why is he rushing to this job? In my opinion, for some reason, if I don't know, Hugh Freeze loses a couple more football games, that doesn't seem out of the ordinary. If Hugh Freeze were to lose a couple more football games and Auburn opens up, James Franklin's going to be 1, 2, or 3 in that job opening. I think there are better jobs maybe potential on the horizon. Like if Wisconsin, for example, were to open up and Luke Fickell were to be fired. I think James Franklin would probably be a good opportunity to potentially take that job. And I think that's a better job than Virginia Tech. This seems very, very rushed to me. Hell, I even saw Brent Venables, Brent, on a hot seat today.
Yeah.
I saw Brent on a hot seat list today. Boys, I'm telling you, there are a lot more and I don't mean to be mean or demeaning to the folks out there in Blacksburg, but if you're James Franklin's representation, why are you already in bed with a girl right now when there might be a hotter one walking down the street soon and you're a single man? What are we doing?
Well, not to demean Virginia Tech anymore, but perhaps this is a James Franklin leverage play.
Ooh.
You just mentioned how Auburn, we assume, is going to be open, and who knows who else might open up. What if this is James Franklin idea of, yeah, go ahead, I'm going to act like I'm going to take this Virginia Tech job. So these other people, they can't think that, they can just drag their feet and be like, James Franklin, he's going to be around. We know that he's going to be fine. We don't have to rush into this. You might have to.
It's funny that you bring this up, Jonathan, because it was pretty well reported that Scott Strickland down there at Florida was kind of already flirting with potential candidates, or at least had his list ready and had made phone calls to see who might be interested in that job weeks before he actually decided to fire Billy Napier. So I love this theory or this take that maybe this is a leverage play of, if you think you can flirt with me or wait around to fire your football coach, you need to hurry up and quit dragging your feet. I'm ready to take a job.
Yeah, and I mean, I say that because why are we going on College Game Day? And again, not to continue to demean Virginia Tech, but I'm going to say it. Why are we going on College Game Day and James Franklin is giving this quote of, I'm going to win a national title somewhere else. That's just the plan right now. I'm going to continue coaching.
Me and my staff,
and we're going to win a national title somewhere else. Virginia Tech has shown the ability to be a competitive program in the ACC, but not one of these consensual national title contenders. Now, we've seen a program like Indiana.
Consensus.
Okay. Consensual.
Consensual. Sounds a little sensual.
You're right. Consensus. But we've seen programs like Indiana revamp into a national title contender right now. So maybe that could happen at Virginia Tech. Maybe James Franklin could pull that off. But
seems harder.
When we're talking about jobs that are available or are going to become available, there are other paths that you could go to of we could win a national title much easier there as opposed to Virginia Tech.
I also think that this could just be a flat-out leverage play of, let me go to this ACC school, get my feet wet for 2 to 3 seasons, build that back up, turn that around, make a quick $10 million, and then go potentially get one of these other jobs. Because we talked about it. The market's really saturated right now. Does
James Franklin need an image rebuilding, like an image rewashing?
He might. If you want to go to...
I thought he's a 10-win guy. What is different? What is the difference, honest to God? What is the difference between the resumes between James Franklin and Matt Rule?
Oh, I mean, James Franklin has a far better resume, honestly. I think that the image building is, though, that this guy could never win the big game and then was finally pushed out because he started losing really, really bad games. So go to this other, again, I'm sorry, Virginia Tech. Go to this, lesser school, build that up to a really competent program, and then say, okay, I'm ready to take on one of these LSUs or bigger jobs that will contend for national titles.
You don't have to keep apologizing. If we got a Hokie in the chat, I'll do a cartwheel. That was an interesting little tidbit today to look on social media and find that Virginia Tech has circled James Franklin or vice versa. James Franklin has circled Virginia Tech. That was just very interesting to me. Now that we have crapped on Virginia Tech's fans and made them feel bad, I will say this. Did you see the footage of that Friday night football game last week out there in Blacksburg?
That's a elite stadium.
Was insane.
They
are a downtrodden football program with no head coach that keeps getting thumped. And that place was packed. Absolutely packed. Sorry to keep cutting you off, Kirby, but
no, you're good.
They need their kudos, man. That is a very special place for college football.
That game against Cal.
I'm calling cap on Leopard X right there. I'm calling cap. I'm not trying to find out if I can do a cartwheel right now. I'm 31. I don't need to find that out whether or not.
We're going to start getting an I am Spartacus type thing happening in the chat. I am a Hokie fan
Yeah.
in the film guy chat.
This one's for Rudy head ass. Have you seen this quote from the Louisiana governor?
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen this?
Yeah.
This is nuts. Now, it makes sense. This is the highest paid, employee in the entire state is the head football coach at Louisiana State University. So I understand, and this is a very proud state. It's a very Cajun-speaking governor. I mean, does he fit the bill of a Louisiana State governor more than any Louisiana State governor that's ever existed, it seems. But he went in front of the media today and absolutely lambasted Scott Woodward and was like, no way this guy is going to be making the decisions about the next head football coach. First, I think, like, why is he the athletic director at LSU? He probably won't be. They don't have a president right now. It's a relatively crap show out there. Now, that being said, I don't think an athletic director ever makes these decisions outright. Hell, most of them farm it out to a selection committee anyways. All right? Most of them are being told what the booster, who's fitting the bill if it goes wrong in the ultimate buyout, most of them are being paid and made the decisions by the booster base and other committees, other very rich, powerful people. And then the athletic director, who is a virtual yes man and punching bag and a salesman, is told to go out and do this. That being said, I find it very weird that the governor of the state is out here basically whipping the athletic director every time he gets. Now, all that being said, the governor did kind of have a point today about how the hiring process goes. And I feel like this is saying bad things about one of the most powerful things powerful people in the world is very dangerous to do in a person's position like mine. Even though we don't have the world's biggest platform, it's rather large. So speaking out against this powerful man is rather dangerous. That being said, the amount of power that Jimmy Sexton has over the hiring processes of college football, it's not necessarily conducive to these college football programs. Because of what the governor's about to talk about. Play the sound for him, Jonathan.
The supervisor is going to come up with a committee, and they're going to go find us a coach. Because wait. I want to hold on. One real quick thing on that. Because here's what y'all reporters need to do. Y'all need to start looking at who represents all these people, like these agents. You know what's interesting? If I'm not mistaken, Woodard's agent, Kelly's agent, the Texas A&M, they're all the same agent. Like, you realize if I would be, I don't know how many sports writers we got here today? Just you. We should have a bunch. Okay? Like, this is ridiculous. Lawyers would be disbarred for the way these agents act and the way they're able to represent. In fact, there's no doubt, they may even represent some of the players now. Like, it's really time for the NCAA to put on some guardrails in college sports. Because, and it's fine. We don't need the guardrails. If big billionaires want to spend all that kind of money, no problem. But if I got to go find $53 million from Kemp, it's not going to be a pleasant conversation. I'm just telling you. I know. And I think that's important as well. Y'all should start looking into that. Okay.
All right, couple of things. He was misguided with regards to his take about this is government funds. It ain't got nothing to do with taxpayer dollars paying these coaches' salaries. This coach salary buyout gets paid out by the booster clubs, right? They're the ones who ultimately eat these buyouts. That being said, there is a monopoly on the coaching world that is these contracts and how they get negotiated and how they get solved and all that good stuff. And I don't necessarily think that is good. However, we got to talk about a pre-show. This is the most American thing ever. The fact that there is a monopoly in this. I mean, what is Walmart? Walmart is an unstoppable mega giant, right? What is McDonald's? McDonald's is an unstoppable mega giant. What is Jimmy Sexton? He's an unstoppable mega giant. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and bitch, moan, and complain because one guy is the best to ever do it at that. To ever like swindle these ADs out of the money for all these football coaches. I'm not going to get mad. I'm also not going to get mad that one of his clients turned out to not only be the greatest football coach of all time in Nick Saban, but also just a spitting coaching tree factory. Just out here spitting out nothing but great football coaches underneath him, thus enhancing and ultimately extrapolating his power over the sport. I can't get mad at that. Because again, the most American thing in the world. Like, what is Amazon? Amazon is a mega giant. You know what I mean? So that's the seriousness of it. Now, you want to get goofy?
I have two takeaways from this. One, if you were to ever ask someone, hey, what do you think the governor of Louisiana sounds like?
That
is it.
That
right there. Secondly, I don't know if anyone noticed this. Is Louis C.K. doing the sign language interpretations for this?
What do you
Look
mean?
at this. Look at this, dude. Look at bro on the left.
Bro on the left.
That is Louis C.K.
Oh my Lord. You know, I don't know much about Louis. Well,
You know more than you'd like to.
yeah, probably. You know, not a bad doppelganger. My favorite sign language people of all time are the ones that do it at the rap shows.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite.
Which is also like, are you going to a concert if you're deaf? I understand that the vibrations of the all that and feel good and everything, like that's one thing that deaf people enjoy and all this stuff. But if you're going for that, why do you need to know what the words are?
Big facts.
Never understood that. Not to be.
How would
against
you
it.
know what the words were?
I mean, you have sign language.
What do you mean?
No, I'm understanding. I'm aware of this.
Right.
But when you go to a 2 Chainz concert
Mhm.
or any concert, how do you know what their lyrics are?
Well,
unless you were to read them, obviously.
Yeah, or
But,
for them,
you know.
someone to sign them to you.
Well, I'm aware of this.
That's what the
But
interpreter
you get
is.
here's what I'm saying. Here, listen to me. And then we're getting way too bogged down. Listen to me. If I were auditorially impaired and I were go to a concert of someone that I was unaware of,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm saying. The words are there, but how am I? I'm just reporting payments today.
Well, more importantly, like, are you there to take in the performance of the singer, or are you going to be paying attention to? I'm more focused on what the words are to the music. That'd be the better question, because I think you could do both. I think you can enjoy both.
Shout out Louis C.K., I guess.
Shout out Louis C.K. Shout out to the governor. Shout out to the injury report because it just came out, I guess.
Sick. On it
Somebody
now.
ruled out.
On it right now.
4 Georgia Bulldogs ruled out. So says 24/7 Sports. They were on it.
I'm sure it's the typical
It's
ones.
the usual suspects.
I'm sure it is.
Ooh, that's big. Vernell Brown listed as out.
That is big. That's one of the dudes on that football team. Hey, Jonathan, it's Wednesday.
It is Wednesday.
It is Wednesday. It's a little early for What If Wednesday, but I got a lot of good ones. I got a lot of really, really good ones. This was supposed to be the weekend of college football. This was supposed to be the absolute weekend of college football that was supposed to be, hey, don't you dare go pumpkin patch picking on this weekend. This is supposed to be bangers. And then I look up, and I'm going through the top 25 matchups today, guys. There are 17 games this weekend that feature top 25 football teams. Did you know in only 5 of those 17 games, we have 1-score spreads?
Wow.
In 12 of the 17 games featuring top 25 football teams this weekend, they are favored by more than a touchdown in these ball games. This was supposed to be parity. This was supposed to be the weekend of great matchups, and it turns out we got some poop on the slate. Now, that being said, it's led me to a new theory, and this is why I wanted to bring this up. We do have a lot of parity in college football. We do have a lot of teams that go into the season thinking they got an opportunity. But we also have a lot of teams that are going through what South Carolina's got going on right now. Hey, down the stretch, what Oklahoma might have going on right now. What if we have a lot of teams that late in the season are playing for next season, developing for next season, and we see a lot of dips late on in the year, and where early in the year we had a lot of parity, we had a lot of tight lines, and then late in the year we might not have so much so. And this is another compounding issue of what we see on these rosters, particularly at these national championship contender caliber football programs. We see a lot of old heads, 4th, 5th year guys transferred in, starting for us, 1-year rentals. Hey, great, might be an NFL draft pick, and then freshmen, redshirt freshmen. That's their backup. We look at how many rosters we look at, Jonathan, every week where we're like, they are old and young.
Yeah.
They are old and young. They don't have an intermediate. They are old and young. And so I think we could see late in the year, a lot of the old is either hurt or not engaged, not playing, or coaches moving forward to young. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think we could see a lot of that moving forward.
Yeah, I think it's a great point. I think you see it in sports already, but I think that I guess it would kind of depend. Like, obviously, like if you have a quarterback that is running out of eligibility, and this is last year before he goes to the league, probably not going to pull him for the true freshman because that guy, he still has tape that he can show to his future team, where the NFL draft process, all that stuff. But there's certainly scenarios where it's like, hey, we're not going to bench the older guy, but the younger guy behind you is definitely about to get some he's going to get in on the rotation here moving forward. What if LSU looks immediately better? Like,
I do appreciate what the interim coach is doing. Have you seen what they did this week? They basically called every former LSU player that was willing and has a platform to come down there and like love on those players.
well, that's cool.
Yeah, it made it a big – and this is what happens oftentimes. Like, I don't know. Can you look up who the interim coach is? I bet the guy – I would venture to say the guy's from Louisiana or has been the longest-standing Louisiana, like, representative. And or at least it seems that way. He is wrapping himself around the state right now.
Frank Wilson.
Where is Frank Wilson from, Jonathan? What is his background? Will you give me some intel on Frank Wilson? This is the interim coach down there at LSU. And there could be a vibe like this. Maybe they didn't like the principal that was walking around the building, and now they got a coach that they actually like.
He had head coaching stints at UTSA and McNeese State before going to LSU in 2022. Been a position coach at a few SEC schools as well, like Ole Miss and Tennessee.
Now, we had a pretty big biff on geography before the show that will never make air. Where's McNeese?
McNeese?
Is that in the area?
McNeese is in like the Louisiana.
I want to say that, right? He's from Louisiana. So, again,
It is in Louisiana.
it's a guy that's got roots. He's got roots to this state. He understands this state far more than the guy he's replacing ever did. You know what I mean?
He was literally born in New Orleans.
There you go. So this guy gets it.
And two,
And maybe they play with a sense of pride. That football team did not play with a sense of pride last week.
And I think
No, it did not.
you could see that potentially from this team. And I think that maybe just a looser vibe around the program that might benefit these players. Like they can just kind of go out there and play loose a little bit for the rest of the season, because I think that kind of what we saw from Brian Kelly as a head coach since he got there, and the more and more things that you hear about him since he got fired, it's not like it was a very everybody's kind of puckered up over there. It felt like that
Tense.
kind of vibe, very tense vibe with Brian Kelly as your head coach.
Yeah, I will say, if there was ever a team to have the we've got an interim coach, we're going to go fight for him type of performance, it's the LSU Tigers. It's very evident that fan base did not like Brian Kelly. I think you can say that some of the players were not fans of Brian Kelly. The governor obviously didn't really care for Brian Kelly.
And you got a quarterback that, again, like I just kind of mentioned with your what if of, this guy is fighting for NFL positioning. This guy is fighting for NFL draft positioning for the remainder of the year in Garrett Nussmeier. I mean, he chose to come back to LSU this year to help them try and win a national title this year. And while that hasn't worked out, we still got to do our own benefit. We still got to play for the remainder of our college career.
If I don't see Mr. Brooks Austin coaching a Power 4 team in the next 10 years, I will feel like I've done myself a disservice as a fan of the show. I love this show. I love football. Let's set the bar at like high school football coach, like within the next 10 years. How about that?
Yeah, dog, I'm trying to have a social life.
For real. How about that? That's the thing. When I did my football pilgrimage, first of all, you learn that you don't know about this game. You know nothing. You think you don't know nothing. I learned that every time I do a film study. I don't know as much as even you guys think I do, first and foremost. Secondly, I want no business with that stuff. That college coaching game is nasty. Nasty.
Yeah.
Vile. Gross. No, sir. I'm good. I'd rather sit here and get red-faced about how much I dislike Hugh Freeze. All my homies dislike Hugh Freeze.
Good Lord.
Hey, what if the American Conference eats itself? Navy undefeated right now, Jonathan, 7-0. They play 7-1 North Texas this weekend. They still got South Florida on the schedule, who just lost to Memphis, and Memphis still has to play 6-1 Tulane, who's undefeated in the conference, only lost to Ole Miss. This is the best mid-major conference. First and foremost, I do not care if the conference champion out of the American is 11-2. Don't bring me no other non-G or P4 football team. Do not bring me another single G5 potential playoff candidate. This is where the non-P4 playoff member will come from. I will not have it any other way. Hell, I think this conference might be better than the ACC.
Whoa.
Wow.
Guys, Navy, stretching North Texas. Navy, South Florida, Memphis, and Tulane.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Them good football teams.
Very good.
Good football teams.
Hey, how about this one? East Carolina took NC State down to the wire 2 years in a row, beat them in a bowl game last year. NC State's a 5.5-point dog against the ACC favorite to win the conference this year.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, there's
Transitive property win in my favor. I'm going to use it this time.
There's definitely an argument that the American Conference is certainly one of the deeper conferences in the group of 5. However, if that conference cannibalizes itself and you don't have one of these cream of the crops rise to the top, I think we have to seriously start having discussions about the auto bid.
I would say that what you're talking about, if that does happen, what I would say is then when we get into December and it looks like we're about to get another group of 5 candidate that isn't deserving because like, oh, well, it's an 11-2 Memphis team. They have 2 losses and they're going to get they actually did deserve it more than anybody is what I would say.
As someone who there is a difference when you go to see an an American Conference team and roster when you see them in person and then go see a non-American G5 conference roster. Let's just put it that way.
Okay, I got you.
These rosters are bigger. They're more athletic. Guys, there was a top 45 corner on East Carolina's roster last year, and 7 Division I stole them out the portal going to Power 4 teams. That team was 4-4 in conference play last year.
Yeah, no, I mean,
it's a much better mid-major conference than people ever would realize because people don't watch it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They really don't watch it.
I understand.
Tulane's back got stolen. Tulane's quarterback got stolen. Tulane's linebacker got stolen. You know what I'm saying? They didn't even did they win the conference last year, Tulane?
I don't think so.
This is what I'm saying. USF's entire roster will probably be pillaged this year. Not just because their coach leaves, because that's what happens.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not denying the talent that's on that conference. I just think that putting those guys in discussion with, hey, these teams should be competing for national titles.
That's not what I said. All I said was this conference, in my opinion, could be argued as better and deeper at the top than what they got going on in the ACC.
Oh, I agree with that.
That's all.
I agree with that.
And people and it was more of used as a comparison to explain just how different that conference is than the other G5s.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of to say if the American champion at the end of the year is 11-2, don't you dare bring me an 11-1 UNLV squad. Don't do it. Don't bring me an 11-2 Boise State or whatever it is out of the other conference. Don't do it. This is the conference to look for the non-P4 playoff team.
Well, speaking of the ACC, as you mentioned in that rant, what if Clemson goes 4-8 this season?
Yeah, I could see it.
Oh.
They are 3-4 right now. Their remaining opponents are Duke, Florida State, Louisville, Furman, and South Carolina.
If he loses that Florida State game, you got to fire him.
I'd be 4-8.
Not. Guys, we can't. In my opinion, and look, I got to talk to Florida State and Clemson beat reporters before I full stamp this. But in my opinion, those 2 schools and Miami, those 3 schools have been very, very obviously connected to we want out of this conference. And if that is the case, it's still $140 million in 2031 to get up out of that thing, isn't it? Mm-hmm. They de-escalated it. They won it in court. It's not going to be $1 billion like it was prior to the lawsuits. But they got a lot of money coming up their way. It's not just like, hey, let's spend $57 million on Dabo. It's let's spend $57 million on Dabo, be in the red, hire another coach, hope he fixes it. And by the way, we got $130 million sitting on the books in a couple years if we actually want to get out of this conference. It's a totally different bag than what some of these SEC schools got going on, right? Maybe there is a booster in Clemson that gets so mad like there was down there in Bayou country where a dude sitting in the box hammered watching Texas A&M beat the hell out of them and commits to $57 million. Y'all know that's what happened?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
No.
Maybe there is something like that at Clemson. And if it is, Dabo's got to watch out. But I don't know nothing about their finances,
Yeah, I don't either. I just a thought. And
they act like they're broke with regards to player acquisitions, though. They act like they don't play that game.
Well, they've lost 2 prominent recruits in their 2026 class now.
Sneaky.
The Dabo Swinney ship is all but sinking.
I mean, the fact that that's even
but has it sailed?
Possible of a
it's sailed
4-8 season at Clemson.
The Dabo Swinney is the greatest Clemson coach of all time. There's no denying that.
Would you prefer your sick to? What is the euphemism? Your ship has sailed. That's bad, right?
The ship has sailed is like saying you've missed your opportunity.
Ah.
Like
The ship is sinking,
You missed
man.
it. Ship is
I
sinking.
don't think
is-
they've missed an opportunity. He
No,
capitalized
He
on
capitalized
that.
on it,
It's
absolutely.
sinking.
It's time
Okay.
to hop off that ship. Though.
Yeah, it's taking on water. Got it. I got another one. What if Georgia Tech smokes NC State this weekend?
Mhm.
Smokes. Did y'all know Boston College is 1-7?
Yeah.
Smokes a 1-7 Boston College and then beats Pitt at home. An undefeated top 5 Georgia Tech. Does it matter if they lose to Georgia in an ACC championship game? They're a playoff team, right?
Yeah, no, they'll be a playoff. If you're a one-loss team by the time you get to any conference championship in the Power Four, I think you're a playoff team automatically.
It matters how you lose. It matters how you lose. I mean, those are going to be the two best teams that Georgia Tech will have played the entire year. And you're going to tell me that. And we know how it is.
By a wide margin.
You can't lose late. That's the whole thing we know for a fact about the college football playoff is you cannot lose late. And so if your last two games that you have shown on your schedule are a 17-point loss to Georgia and a 20-point loss to Miami, you think that they're going to just sit there and say, "Yeah, 10-2 Georgia Tech obviously is in."
Or
Or
worse,
11.
what if it's a 14-point loss to Virginia and a 17-point loss to Georgia?
Oh, then you're done. I mean, if you're like the what if here is if you're 11-1 by the end of the regular season, I think they're in. And while I agree with you that if you do get blown out against Georgia and in the ACC championship, you're gonna have a lot of questions about you. I don't think that they're going to be comfortable with the current state that the conference championship is in, punishing teams for playing in those games.
I mean, we've watched a playoff committee keep out. Now I know this was 14, but we watched them keep out an undefeated ACC team out of a playoff. And the whole argument was because I know that their quarterback wasn't playing, but also the strength of schedule was not there.
If this is the true whatever, we're going to carry this out. The real determining factor will be, are they a two-team conference, the ACC?
Right.
And does the SEC or Big Ten deem a 9-3 or 10-2 football team far more worthy of the second team in the ACC? That's like fourth or fifth down the line in those conferences.
Right.
Because we all kind of believe that the Big Ten and the SEC will split probably 7 or 8 conference or playoff teams amongst them. And if Notre Dame wins out, there's a 9th. And you got a mid-major, there's a 10th. Still got to give one to the Big 12, there's an 11th. Are you a 1 or 2 team conference?
Yeah.
That's the question.
And now that also depends on like how many 10-2 SEC teams there are, how many how many teams in the Big Ten are competing for this. Like, does the Big 12 get to a point where we're arguing for 2 teams from them? I'm just saying, like, it could get very crowded.
See, this is also a good thing about our Best Bets board sitting right there behind you, because we're going to find out who watches the show and who shows up every once in a while and watches the show. Like my man Ty Walker right here. I feel like Brooks could do okay with parlays instead of predictions because 19-30 isn't looking good. It's looking great to me, big dog. It's looking great to everyone that's been fading Brooks since week 2. That's the dang truth. These goofies, 3 games over 500. Spit your lukewarm butt up.
I gotta say, I respect the media spin here for being like
immediate.
Oh, I'm doing bad for 2 weeks in. Let me just want to do bad and predict.
Let me just want to do bad for 6 weeks and accomplish said feat.
Bro, you were 2-8 through 2 weeks. Try it.
And now we're 19-30 trying to be bad. Big dubs in the chat for the boss. Big dubs in the chat. The peons hating on me right now. Don't let them. Sorry to call y'all that. That's disrespectful. What is the punishment for losing Mississippi State at Arkansas?
Can Arkansas be punished anymore?
The punishment is that you lost to one of those
Mississippi State
teams.
be punished more? That's the question.
Sure, you could.
Mississippi State's had their hearts ripped out 3 weeks
Oh no,
in a row.
I mean the actual punishment of the season is there, but I mean the punishment could be, oh darn Mississippi State, you lost to Arkansas and we're starting from scratch again because Jeff Lebby is no longer the head coach. Like that's the punishment that you could see for Mississippi State. Arkansas, it's like football's going on. John Calipari is about to lead us to a national title this year. I don't know what's going on
Are
there.
they stacked?
I mean, they're going to be good.
You know college hoops, Jonathan?
I love college hoops.
I don't give a damn. Pepsi bottle, Coca-Cola glass. I don't give a dime. Hey, we got predictions, hey, boys?
Let's do it.
We got 28 minutes to hammer them home. Let's get after it. Can these please refresh for me?
While you're doing that, we might as well
Please
take
do.
the time to
See, hey, that's a teammate. Go ahead. Talk about the
Might as well take the
sponsors.
time to give a shout out over to our friends on Sleeper. Sleeper, if you're wondering, you haven't been watching the show all week, not sure why you haven't been doing that, is a fantasy sports and real money gaming app that is focused on bringing people together through sports.
Through
That's what
sports
sports does
and
best.
gaming.
It brings you together. Exactly. Sports and gaming, what more would you want? It has over 6 million active users. As of 2023, those numbers have only skyrocketed.
Jonathan, I don't mean to speak for your fantasy advice or your fantasy game, but I don't play fantasy like on a year-to-year basis. I'm a day-to-day fantasy guy. A lot of people play like all year long fantasy, and by now your fantasy team might be either really, really good or some straight up poop.
Yeah.
If your team is straight up poop, you can still get in on the action on a day-to-day basis over there at Sleeper. Promo code Brooks, 100% deposit match up to $100. That means you put in 100, you get 100 with promo code Brooks. Shout out to our friends over at Sleeper.
And by the
Good
way,
job,
they're
Brooke.
operational in over more than 25 states in the U.S., so that's more than half. You got a better. If you live in the United States, you got a 50% chance that works for you.
Including this here 5-state right here.
That's
in Penn
right.
State. Hell yeah. Speaking of state, Penn State going up to Ohio State. Not so big anymore. Noon kickoff. Keys to the football game, boys. Penn State, it's finding a way to defensively manage to make this a 17-14 football game. The only problem is I don't think your offense is going to be on the field long enough to protect your defense. Your defense will ultimately take probably maybe 78 to 85 snaps in this football game, and they probably going to give up some points ultimately because of it. So there's that. Ohio State, you got to keep rolling, man. Got to keep rolling, got to keep building and making sure you're peaking as much as we can as we get close to that game against that team that starts with that M.
Yeah, my keys for Ohio State were don't step outside of your lane down this stretch. Like, just keep being you, keep continuing to dominate the teams that you should dominate in this conference, making sure that Julian Sayin is continuing to elevate his game as a quarterback. He's been getting better and better. It seems like every single game. Continue that. And like Brooks mentioned, just make sure that you're going into the month of December as one of the hottest teams in college football, because you managed to do that last year despite a loss, and it benefited you greatly. For Penn State, you need Saquon Barkley or Micah Parsons to get some magic eligibility for this game. Honestly, that's basically your only hope, in my opinion. I'm sorry to do that to you, but that's just kind of reality.
Look,
right now.
honest to God, I was just thinking it. That's the most cookie cutter football analysis I've had on this show all year long. It's a damn 21-point spread. You're lucky we're even talking about it. Go ahead.
No, I mean, that's fair. I mean, my keys to the game are, do you get Ohio State in a sleepwalk matchup to where they're like, this game does not mean anything, we're going to roll over this team, come out motivated, and do you as Penn State have your win-one for the Gipper performance, where you come out, odds are all against you, you're in the road environment, you got to win this game, and you somehow find a way to do it. I'm taking a page out of Michigan's book of what they did last season, because that's exactly what you said to a T. Limited possessions, got turnovers in inopportune places, and scored points off of it.
Michigan beats this football team at the line of scrimmage with attitude and pissed offness.
You're going to have to do that.
I don't think Penn State's got any of that left. I don't know if they got any of that left. They certainly had a very talented line of scrimmage unit going into the season, and they've been pushed around a good couple times. They are beat down as a football team, I would imagine, at this point. You mentioned it, Jonathan, and it kind of curtails into my X factor in this football game. You got to get Saquon Barkley to just like reinvent himself or like reinvigorate or like be reborn. Well, Katron Allen's here. Katron Allen's still on this roster. Okay, Nick Singleton's still on this roster, but particularly Katron. My question is there anything on this Penn State roster that even threatens them enough to even worry about the passing game and just dedicate? I mean, honest to God, if they put 9 guys in the box or 8 guys in the box and covered the 3 potential weapons on every play, they wouldn't get beat.
Yeah, I
You
agree.
threw for 98 yards last week total, combined. You and Iowa the last time you were on the field. So, like, there's nothing here that would threaten me if I were the Ohio State defense. Just load up and stop the run. But the X factor is Katron Allen to even make this a football game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my X factor is going back to my comment about Julian Sayin for Ohio State. It's not so far that you need a massive performance from him to win this game, but more so making sure that your first-year starting quarterback is just continuing on the pace that he's on right now, and making sure that him and this offense are continuing to elevate themselves, because there's no question that you have the defense right now to go and win a national title. You have the weapons offensively to go and win a national title. It's really just about all the other pieces on the roster, Julian Sayin being one of those.
Yeah, I agree that Julian Sayin is my X factor as well. He's a first-year starting quarterback who has played tremendously up to this point in the season. Can you, Jim Knowles, in that Penn State defense, force him to make first-year player mistakes, and you maybe get 2 or 3 free possessions out of it?
I've seen the light. It's come right down here. The prediction for Saturday. Exactly what it's going to be. The exact stat line for one Jeremiah Smith. You ready?
Oh, no.
You heard it here first. 10 catches. Exact stat line on the dot. 10 catches, 190 yards, 3 tuds.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, sneaky big year for this kid's already had 700 yards through 7 games. Basically, it's like 680, 690. He's like basically averaging like 7 catches, 85 yards a game and a tud. Guy's playing good ball right now, despite the fact that teams are trying to take him away. You would imagine.
He's playing great ball right now.
That was your enlisted doesn't happen?
Yeah.
Well, you said exact. This is exactly what's happening.
To the T, Jonathan.
Okay. Just making sure we're on the same note.
I gotta stop screaming. I get too juiced. We gotta get microphones that can handle this. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
You heard it here first. Penn State doesn't score a single point, and Ohio State is up by 40 by the end of the first half.
Wah!
Oh, you're going 2021 Michigan State on them. That was that year, right?
That hurt my
Stinky,
soul.
stinky.
That would hurt my soul.
You heard it here first unless it doesn't happen.
I'm going the adverse to that, Jay. Well, I think this is a 1-score game at halftime.
Oh.
Heard
Jonathan,
it here first
is
unless it
Keyshawn
doesn't
Stencil, is that one of the Clemson commits
Yes.
that you're talking about? Okay, because I just got a notification about it in an email about another one.
So much so that Keyshawn Stencil, I know we're kind of going way off topic right now, but Keyshawn Stencil told everybody in the world, I think before the season started, that shutting down my recruiting process, I'm locked in with the Clemson Tigers. Now he's going to Miami.
Cool. Ugly. The ship is sinking.
Ohio State 38-10.
Ohio State 41-7.
Like I said, I think it's a 1-score game at half, but I think Ohio State pulls away 31-13.
They don't cover?
I'm calling Fugazi on that.
Maybe.
Hey, Miami was a tie game with Stanford.
The Vanderbilt Commodores headed on the road to Austin, Texas. Some would call that, I was going to make a Nashville-Austin comparison. Are you pro Nashville, pro Austin?
Like city-wise?
Yeah.
Austin.
Never been to Austin, not a fan of Nashville. So
Pro Austin. I'm pro Austin guy too.
Never been to Austin?
Maybe it'll play out in the predictions here. Hey, the Vanderbilt Commodores go on the road to Austin, Texas to take on the Texas Longhorns. You went to Austin last year.
I just had a football brain moment, guys.
Absolute goof.
Put the helmet on.
Put the helmet on.
Damn, dude, I had another one.
You looked great in the helmet last week, by the way.
Thanks.
Yeah. First question, first talking point.
Pro Austin.
Pro Austin.
Sorry to get that out there.
Yeah, you did. You were mediocre on it, and you hated Nashville. So you're so much pro Austin.
Yeah.
There. All right. Hey, biggest question mark going into this game before we even get into keys, before we even get into X factors, is Arch Manning going to play? Is Michael Taft going to play? Both are at practice.
Questionable.
According
At practice.
to the official injury report that was released by the SEC, Arch Manning has been listed as questionable, as has Michael Taft, which means you're not going to know until Saturday.
And here's the thing, like
Game time decision.
it's been reported that Arch Manning and Michael Taft were at practice. Now, Michael Taft might have actually been a participant at practice, but for Arch Manning, like, is it? Yeah, he was there.
Yeah,
he was with his teammates, or was it? Oh, Arch Manning was a participant.
I got a hot take. What the hell is Arch Manning doing driving a very large and heavy vehicle 2 days after a concussion?
Oh, are you talking about the picture?
Is that recent?
I don't know how recent it is.
Did I get interneted?
Maybe.
We just don't know when it was taken.
Just a thought. You know, he's worth millions. Probably, 24 hours after a major head trauma. Probably shouldn't be driving heavy machinery. Just a thought.
Don't disagree with that.
Just a thought.
My keys, though, are if Arch Manning plays, Texas needs to hope that he continues to build off what he showed last week against Mississippi State. If he doesn't play, then your hope is that your defense gets Vanderbilt off the field quickly and you get as many shots and opportunities with your offense as possible. Otherwise, if Vanderbilt just dominates the time of possession, then you might be cooked.
For me, man, is the major key in this football game is first and second down, because both of these teams are bad on third and long for different reasons. On third and long for Vandy, I don't want Diego Pavia having to get into a 3-step hitch, work game from within the pocket, driving the ball down the field. That's not his bag. 3rd and 2 is his bag, right? So we got to be great on first and second down. For Texas, they can't protect a soul back there. So we got to be on 3rd and 5 so we can hitch our way into a first down, so we can rub our way into a first down, so we can maybe run our way to a first down. Probably not with the way that they've been running the football. So that would be my first immediate thought is, hey, who can best and most readily avoid 3rd and 6 plus, because you're in troublesome territory on both sides of the football there. For Texas, me, man, personally, got to stop hunting chunks. Just hunt efficiency. right? Stop hunting explosivity and hunt efficiency. I think Alabama's doing a great job of this right now. They obviously can't protect their quarterback on down-to-down basis every single Saturday. So what do? They get into the quick game like crazy. They can't run the football efficiently. So what do? They get into the quick game like crazy. They have to be very, very elite in that quick game so they can remain efficient ahead of the sticks. I thought they did a great job about it against Oklahoma, not so much last week against Mississippi State.
Yeah, I have just quarterback play for Texas as their key to the matchup based on if Arch does play, how much is he able to do? If Arch doesn't play, what's the backup able to do? I think that's going to be kind of what makes this Texas offense go.
X factors. For me, factors. Colin Simmons and Ethan Burke. You play Vandy, it's your edge play.
Mm-hmm.
It's your edge play and eye discipline. Be great on the edge. Colin Simmons, probably the best jack in college football. Is the best jack in college football. 6'2", the best 6'3" or under 250-pounder under football player in college football.
I think
Hard to
that's a
argue
fair
that.
assessment.
Best pound-for-pound player in college football?
That's such a
there's
nuance.
So many.
I'm
Such
trying
a-
to label him. Oh, Anthony Hill adds into that as well. It's
Keep
like
it.
that whole, handling the option core.
My X factor is the Vanderbilt running back Cedric Alexander. I think he plays a whole lot more of a crucial role in this offense than what he's given credit for. Obviously, because Diego Pavia gets a lot of attention in this, deservingly so. But I think that he has been the glue to like the efficiency, them being in positive downs constantly. So if they're going to do that against this Texas defense, you got to establish a run. And it's going to start with him, and that kind of plays into what my key was for Vanderbilt of. You need to be okay winning an ugly football game against Texas. You did it against Missouri, and we sat here and we said that wasn't enjoyable to watch. It needs to be another performance like that against Texas, in my opinion. It needs to be like 17-10, 17-14, where nobody can really move the ball, but you do it more than than your opponent, and you come out with a win.
Chad talking about Caleb Downs. We're talking about box players.
This is sort of a hacky X factor take, but Diego Pavia has been the playmaker for Vanderbilt this season. If he is able to extend plays and make things happen for that Vanderbilt outfits, the likelihood of them winning goes up exponentially. Exhibit A is the one game they lost. He had 3 turnovers, did not play his best game. Other than that, he has kind of been the difference maker for them. So I know that saying that the team's quarterback is their X factor is kind of lazy, but it feels more so than ever true for him.
Georgia played Texas really, really well last year, didn't they?
Yes, they did
Twice.
both times.
I would argue they put the blueprint out on them. Do y'all remember what it was?
5-man front.
This guy knows ball. The 50 down front. Now, turn tape on like 10 days later. I think they had a bye week after Georgia last year did Texas. They go on the road to Vandy. The very next game that they play, guess what they get out of Vandy?
50 down front.
50 down front. Vandy tried to play Georgia's style last year, tried to play their game plan last year against this Texas football offense, which hasn't changed all that much from a style and scheme standpoint. Vandy didn't have the players last year. I think the talent gap has shrunk. I don't think Texas is as flawless as they are supposed to be. Vandy defense holds this Texas offense under 17 points. You heard it here first.
Ooh, under 17.
Unless it doesn't happen.
I'll double down with
What?
that. But I'll say that neither team reaches 20 points in this game. You heard it here first.
What
Unless
you
it doesn't
viewing
happen.
for? That's Vandy football, baby. Hey, they do this. This is what they do. That door D.
My unless it doesn't happen is defense adjacent. I do think there will be big defensive plays on both
Big
sides
D.
of the ball. Yeah, I walked in that one. Give me 5 total turnovers in this game. I think that we're going to have a lot of teams just giving it up here, whether it be fumbles, interceptions, just mistakes all around. You heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
Bro said he walked into a big D. I got a sneaky feeling. Texas wins this, but only if Arch plays. Texas 17-14.
Ooh.
I also, my stipulation here is that I'm assuming that Arch Manning is going to play for Texas. I do have Texas winning. I have them winning 25-20.
I guess I'm the only one who's going to go Vandy here. From what we've seen with the Texas offense and how it's not as good as it was advertised, Arch was promising, but again, we don't even know if we're going to get Arch. The adverse is the Texas defense hasn't been a brick wall like we were expecting it. It's been good, but it's been gettable, and I think that Vanderbilt's going to make enough plays in this game. Give me Vanderbilt winning 28-20.
It's a lot more points than I'm expecting.
It might be lower than that, but
How does Texas find ways to just move the ball 5 yards a clip. That's what you got to worry about. They're just that offense. It's so weird. It's so weird to watch a Kyle Flood-led offense be bad at offensive line. I was telling my grandfather this today. I bet Kyle Flood makes close to, I bet he makes a good pretty penny every offseason going and talking to coaching clinics about offensive line. I see him on YouTube. Go look it up. Kyle Flood coaching clinic. It'll pop up all over the place. Man out here in front of the big projector giving the coaches speeches at the coaches clinics. My man can't put together an offensive line to protect a multi-million-dollar quarterback. It's crazy. You find one, do you? Mm-hmm. Immediately. You know why? Because I watch them. Like it's crazy to me. It makes no sense how that roster spends $30 million and can't keep the damn quarterback upright. Sorry.
Oh, wow.
I think it's the biggest game of the weekend.
Yeah, definitely.
I think this one is the biggest game of the weekend right here. The Oklahoma Sooners go on the road to take on the Tennessee Volunteers. Night game inside of Neyland Stadium, man. Keys to the matchup for me. Oklahoma, can you create any type of dynamic and vertical passing game, or is this new version the thumbless from the ear material version of this offense? Is this the new version? Guys, I'm not a stats guy. I'm a film guy, and the film has been telling me they are not the same. They are not the same football team. They do not call plays the same. They are not the same efficiency numbers. They are not the same explosive team when I watch them on tape. They rely far more on the run game than I ever thought they would, or that they did when they were their best versions of themselves early on in the season. I went and ran the numbers down. Pre-surgery, John Mateer was throwing 275 yards per game on 11.7 yards per completion. But here's the important part. 67% completion percentage. That's not 72 like Bo Nix. It's not elite. It's 67. But it's for almost 300 yards a game. And adding in as a runner. Now we have a thumb injury. Now we have surgery. Post-surgery, we are throwing for 191 yards per game on 10 yards per completion. But again, the important part, 58% completion percentage. Woof. He's spraying it. He's spraying it, and we can't trust him to continue. The amount of attempts per game are going down. The pace that they're playing with is going down. The creativity that they're playing with is going down. It's a major problem. Can we find a way around this, or can he somehow get healthy in the middle of the season? I don't necessarily believe that to be the case. Not as a former football player and someone who thinks about it from a football brain mindset. We don't get healthy in the middle of the season. We get healthy after the season, and that's unfortunate. For Tennessee, man, can you find a way to be turnover and negative free against this Oklahoma defense? Mm-hmm. They going to hunt. They're going to hunt, and they're going to try to create some negatives on you. Can you do what Ole Miss did? Ole Miss took 84 snaps and allowed 1 sack, no turnovers. That's a great damn day against old Brett Brett.
Mm-hmm. Oklahoma, the key to this game is you have to win your one-on-one matchups. That goes on defense and that goes offensively. Defensively, it's your corners. When you're one-on-one with Tennessee's wide receivers and they're throwing a 40-yard bomb, you got to win those. You got to win more than you'd lose. And then also up front, defensively, you got to win those one-on-one matchups on the offensive line. Whoever's matched up against David Sanders, you don't have to win consistently, but you got to at least win some of those. David Stone, you got to win some of those matchups as well. Like, be disruptive up front, continue that for yourself. Tennessee, I think it starts with their defensive front in this matchup, where I think a lot of issues for Oklahoma right now are starting with their offensive line, and it's creating a lot of issues for John Mateer on top of the injury that he's dealing with right now. So Joshua Josephs, Tyree West, those guys for Tennessee got to be great on Saturday.
Is that the biggest advantage tilt in terms of matchups in this football game? Tennessee's front four versus Oklahoma's offensive line?
Probably.
I would say so.
Everything else seems relatively like big-time punchers going, especially on the like Oklahoma's defense versus Tennessee's offense.
Very much.
It feels like on par, like those two are top 5 units. This feels like the only place in this matchup where there's a heavy tilt towards one of these football teams, in my opinion.
I would agree with that.
Yeah,
Maybe Tennessee's linebackers versus whatever Oklahoma can put on them. We're going to talk about that here in a second. Go ahead.
The key to this matchup for me goes for both teams is who wins more, Tennessee's weapons on the perimeter or Oklahoma's defensive backs? Because we know that more so than ever this year, since Tennessee hasn't ran the ball as effectively as it has years past, it's still fine at running the football. They rely on their big chunks, and if they can hit half of those, they usually have a really good chance to win their game. I think that if you're Oklahoma, you have to put an emphasis on stopping that. They have an elite wide receiver core. Whoever wins those 50-50 balls more, I think, is going to be the victor of this game.
You know what sucks about these 50-50 balls? We're going to talk about this a lot in the local hour. If you throw 7 of them, if you throw 9 of them, throw 10 of them, and you lose as a defense half of them, you're going to lose that football game. It's not 50-50. It might be an opportunity for the ball to go one way or the other. There's a one-on-one down there. But if you lose half of them, you will lose the game. Because you can't have 5 50-plus yard explosives against Tennessee. You'll lose.
Yeah.
They'll score 35 points plus.
Mm-hmm.
So it's why they tilt the math on you, man. It really is like shooting threes. It's like going out there and it's like, well, they shot 38% from the floor today. Well, who cares? They knocked down 25 threes. They scored so many points on you, it didn't matter. That's the way I feel about this sometimes because it's not 50-50. It's a 50-50 ball that we have to win 65% of them or we're going to lose today.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's stressful. In terms of an X factor, man, for me, it's Xavier Robertson. Last week was the breakout back for Oklahoma. But I don't think that's the matchup here for Oklahoma in the run game. For me, it's Torrey Blaylock, the freshman running back. He is such an elite open field guy that if they can just get him on the second and third level against this Tennessee defense, he's going to have explosive runs. This might be the most porous tackling unit and poor tackling unit in the second and third levels that we have in the SEC in the form of Tennessee. They're bad. They can't get guys on the ground. So if Torrey Blaylock gets into that level, watch out. It might be 65, 70-yard touchdown.
My X factor is Oklahoma's offensive line. It is going to win or lose you this game, in my opinion. So if you're allowing Tennessee's defensive line to just constantly create issues for in the run game and the passing game, if John Mateers is running for his life constantly, it's going to lose you this game. So those guys have to be on their A game against his team.
Give me freshman quarterback Courtney Guillory from Oklahoma as the X factor here.
Cornerback.
Freshman cornerback.
Yeah, no, in my head I heard quarterback, so I thought somebody else might have.
No, cornerback.
Yeah.
The defensive back. I think that Tennessee, Josh Heupel does a very, very good job of scheming up who they think is the weak link here. And again, like I said, you're going to have to win some 50-50 balls. He's going to be a major X factor if that.
Only 3 people go to New York.
3 or 4, yeah, usually.
We feel like Ty Simpson might be in that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Joey Aguilar receives his invitation in the mail stamped. You will be in New York in December after this weekend's 350-plus yard performance against Oklahoma in a big-time night game win against the nation's best defense in the Sooners. You heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
You heard it here first. Tennessee has more 40-plus yard passing plays in this game than the number of times Oklahoma crosses Tennessee's 40-yard line. You heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
I don't have a statistical prediction for this. I don't have an output. I don't have even, plays. But this is going to be a John Mateer disaster class. You heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen. The amount of havoc that this Tennessee defense creates perfectly goes against what John Mateer has been doing since he came back from his injury. So
I believe you have a debt to pay.
Yeah, we'll pay that after we get done cutting this sub-episode that we're going to have to put out. I mean, he's even got a name.
Yeah, it's in the name.
Hokey
It's in the name.
22. I'm
you're
doing a
cooked.
cartwheel. I'm cooked. I'm more nervous about that than the raw 225. The bench press, not doing it without a warm-up. I'm more nervous about this one. Prediction. I had a sneaky feeling going into that A&M LSU football game. I had a sneaky feeling there was a drastic advantage in that ball game. Tennessee rolls. Vols on top. Tennessee 34, Oklahoma 20.
You and I are very similar on this one. I have Tennessee winning 37-20.
I have Tennessee winning 34-20. I think
Wow.
I think John Mateer makes enough plays for them to get down the field and score some points, but
Well,
I slick felt like Ole Miss could have won that game 34-20.
yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Probably
Mhm.
should have.
But Tennessee has their own defensive issues. So
Yes.
as porous as Oklahoma has been at times offensively, there's still ways that they're talented enough to where they can certainly put up points.
Oh, the
this one.
Satanga kid can cook
But
you.
I just don't think they're going to be able to keep up pace with Tennessee's offense.
Should I pay this debt now?
yeah, I mean, you gotta rip the Band-Aid off at some point.
Hokey pitcher, thank you so much.
That was actually pretty good.
That was pretty impressive.
It was actually a really good cartwheel.
All right, now that that's done. Hey, the Trojans going on the road to face them Cornhuskers. I'm lightheaded. The USC Trojans, key to this football game, remain balanced and explosive. Okay, the key word here, balanced. All right. There is one game on their game log that sticks out like a sore thumb. It's last week against Notre Dame. They got pinned up in the run game, and they ultimately turned it over a ton. They've got to be able to run the football on this one. That's it for me. Hey, J. Will, on the fly. Will you check Nebraska's run D for me? I meant to give you this one before the show so you could have it all nice and quick.
I can tell you they're the 12th ranked overall defense.
12th ranked overall defense, but are they good against the run? That's the key here, because if you can get this USC run game stabilized and frozen, you might have a chance, okay? You might have a chance here.
They ranked 90th.
You don't have a chance. You don't have a chance. I'm glad you gave me that one. So, yeah, that's my key there.
You mentioned Nebraska running the ball. It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. Like we've been kind of saying it now. Like at this point in the year, we're in week 10 of college football, and if you rank outside of the top 100 of rushing offense, it's just not going to happen for you. You just don't have a rushing offense. We're not going to go into a game and say, I got to run the ball this weekend. That's just it. It's not reality for you. So my key to the matchup for Nebraska in this one is Dylan Raiola has to be special. He has to have a special game for you in this one. He's got to be great for you because it is all on his shoulders, in my opinion. Because, again, you're 101st in rushing offense right now, and that's not changing. Number 15 has to be great. USC needs to make clutch plays. I feel like that this has been their issue for them this season of when they're in these close matchups against conference opponents, they get into the second half. They just don't find a way to get that final punch, and they don't find a way to make the big play that leads them to a win.
I'm still racking my brain on
Immaculate.
They must just play light boxes all damn game. Anyways, X factor for me.
Number 2 in the country for passing defense.
There you go. Light boxes all game. All game. X factor for me. Nebraska's vertical passing game. Is there any at all? Is there any at all? I don't think there is.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be. It seems very much. How efficiently can I be with the quarterback position right now?
I think this is going to be a spanking.
Yeah.
Like Big Ten spanking, 34-17.
Yeah.
That's my prediction, 34-17. USC rolls.
Yeah,
Mine's USC 30, Nebraska 17.
I also have USC winning 33-20.
Cincinnati at Utah. For Cincinnati, man, it's plain and simple for me. Can you stop that running game from Utah? Or
65th
at least,
in the country.
I know, like right in the middle of the pack, just not good enough. I don't know, but maybe the quarterback's good enough. I'm gonna talk about that here in a second. BYU turned them over twice, Utah, and then the other game, like Texas Tech managed to stand up against this run game, and they turned them over 4 times. If you can do anything to stop this run game from Utah, you will beat them.
Yeah.
Oh,
you will beat them.
There's a weird stat with Utah where in games that they have won in conference play, they have scored 40 or more points. In games that they have lost, they have failed to score more than 21 points. So, in other words, they're either winning or they're getting their butt whooped.
I tend to be on the side of winning in this game just because of what Cincinnati's rushing defense has been so mid at. From what I saw in Utah last week, they're explosive on the ground. So I'm gonna go ahead and ride with Utah in this 31-27.
Film guy's got a stat for you, Jonathan. Any Utah receiver not named Ryan Davis is the X factor in this football game, and here's why. Wide receivers have accounted for 84 receptions this season. Ryan Davis of Utah has 48 of them.
Lord.
He accounts for 57% of the receptions in the wide receiver room. Here's how bad their wide receiver room is, Jonathan. They got safeties with receptions. They got defensive tackles with receptions. They got linebackers with receptions. They got a corner that plays both ways. Utah's wide receiver core is absolute poop. Absolute poop. So if anybody can get loose other than Ryan Davis, they might have a chance.
That is mind-blowing.
Ain't it?
Wow. You just kept going with the different positions, too. I thought you were going to stop it. Oh, yeah, they got
You
a
ought to
safety.
you ought to see the fire hydrant of a D tackle they get the ball
I
to.
want to see this.
There's been clips of it all over the film, all over.
I haven't
social
stumbled
media.
into that one.
Oh, buddy, he bought 5'11", 330. Yeah.
My X factor is Brendan Sorsby because I love Brendan Sorsby. He's
I
been
do
playing
too.
great football for
Great
Cincinnati. Kind of like a similar way of why I fell in love with John Mateer when he was at Washington State. This guy just does everything. This guy is throwing the ball for them well, and he's rushing in. He has over 400 rushing yards at this point in the season. He's just a do-it-all guy. So if he keeps playing to the standard that he has set in place, they're going to be all right.
Have you seen the touchdown to interception splits on this guy?
It's great.
I mean, 3-button polo and khaki, clean. You know, like the credit score on this kid through the roof. You know,
Great score.
Bro, 20 passing touchdowns to 1 interception. That's elite.
Yeah, it is elite.
That's mine unless it doesn't happen. Sorsby plays nice, professionally clean, responsible football.
I'm going for 300 passing yards, 100 rushing yards, and 3 total touchdowns.
It's really not that, though. Has
But
he
it
thrown
is
for
this
300
weekend.
yards all year?
It is this weekend.
Okay.
It's mine unless it doesn't happen.
I
You're not
like
allowed
it.
to judge it.
I think I'm like 0-3 when picking against Utah, so give me the Bearcats. Let's make it 0-4.
I took Utah 31-27.
I'm taking Cincinnati 30-23.
You know what I'm taking?
What's that?
I'm taking 45 seconds to toss to the local hour. That's what I'm taking.
Welcome into Talk the Dog, the show where we find a bone to pick and a take to give. These are not hot takes. These is dog takes. Can I talk that dog? What's up? You really like that? Let's shut up and grind some tape.
Well, shut up and let's grind. They're not trying to stretch you. What Kirby say about him? He's a big guy. It's hard to finish on him. Big guy, hard to finish on. I think you're busting, son. And then we really start to hone in on our tight end. All right, very tight end, poppable, Jonathan. Look how open, and he'll get in there and stick his nose in it. All right.
Yeah, it's YouTube.
I mean, honestly, you got to really hone in on the tight. You got to really hone in on that tight end. You got to watch out. Eye discipline on the tight end is important. But don't get caught looking at the tight end. You know what I mean?
Can't have
Dangerous.
that happening.
Dangerous. As a married man, can't get caught looking at the tight end.
Okay. I get what you're referring to.
Speaking of ditties, I believe we have some super chubs that we need to tend to.
How does that transition?
AWalk-3 says, thanks for giving me ball knowledge while I'm training for the triathlon world champs.
Oh, Lord. God bless you, sir.
Triathlon world championships?
I could never.
That's women or swimming, biking, and running?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not even buoyant enough to be getting in open water. I'm a sinker. Right to the bottom. I can't be out here doing the triathlon. So shout out to you, AWalk. Hunter Moss says, what if Wednesday? Thanks for that comment, Hunter Moss. Come on, man. You can't be having me read that on live television. Kellen M. Clean 209 says, hey, Brooks, love the show. Last year you took a pic of me and my friend at the UGA UF game in the stands pointing at you. We'll be back again this year. Hopefully we can get your attention. Go Dogs. Absolutely. When I see friends of the show, fans of the show out in public and I'm got a camera in my hand, we take photos of you, no doubt.
Better be at the tailgate.
Better be at the tailgate. Parking lot P. We pushing P and hamburgers with cheese. I'm going to keep saying that one. Dolphin 5613 says, I said I'd do 20 for a cartwheel. Marvelous job. Good, sir. Thank you very much. Does BV get fired if Vols blow out OU? I hope not. You can't fire Brent Venable. I don't think so.
Not this season.
Brent. I did it on another show.
If you do lose
week.
out, though, that might.
Brent.
I did it on another show this week.
Like
I did it on Knoxville television or Knoxville radio.
Brett.
Let's get into the local hour. It's a loaded one. What do we got here on the local hour? We've got great stuff. We got What If Wednesday, an injury report update. We've got film notes. We've got a stat rundown from J. Will and much, much more. But before we do that, I want to give a quick shout out to our friends over at Ridge. If you have not yet already, head over to ridge.com and use promo code Brooks10 to get 10% off these fine, sleek wallets. Now, I don't have the rechargeable power bank on me right about now. You know why?
You got to charge it up.
It's charging up right now.
It
is charging up. And my phone, guess what? My phone's still on 72% because I left it, woke up this morning, it was almost dead. Used the power bank all day, didn't even worry about it. It's ready to go. I'm going to use it again tomorrow. Shout out to our friends over at Ridge. Again, ridge.com, promo code Brooks10. Get over there today and support those who support us. Let's get after this local hour, boys. We got a great one for them. Let's start with some injury news. What did we have come out of that today?
So Georgia fans, there is absolutely nothing to worry about here. It's four players are listed on the injury report. They're all out, and it's all players you'd expect. Colby Young is out, Ethan Barbour is out, Talon Taylor is out, and Kyron Jones is out. Other than that, there's no questionables, there's no game time decisions, there's no doubtfuls. So pretty healthy team heading into this
So the
game.
only changes there are that Thomas Blackshear is no longer on the injury report, and Malachi Tolliver is no longer on the injury
Correct.
Thomas played last week or 2 weeks ago. I felt like I saw him. He dressed.
Okay.
Yeah, didn't play, dressed.
Florida, on the other hand, let me read you the list of players that are out first. Running back Trayon Webb, wide receiver Vernell Brown, who is currently their leading receiver, L.J. McCray, edge defender, Aiden Mizell, wide receiver, Mizell. Aaron Gates is out, Jacoby Jackson's out, that's the other running back that they have. Dijon Johnson's out, Caleb Banks is out. They have 2 players questionable, running back Duke Clark and defensive back Javion Toombs. So that is a banged-up Florida team that we kind of talked about. You might start getting a lot of guys saying, hey, my coach got fired. This season's cooked anyway. I'm just going to, save that eligibility.
I would say of those 8, about 6 of those are first-teamers.
Mm-hmm.
Like Aaron Gates was going to be their starting nickel in this football game, starting safety, one or the other. And Banks is their best defensive lineman.
Yep.
L.J. McCray's their best defensive end.
Mm-hmm.
Kirby said it right. Like I can imagine what this defense would have looked like if they were
Oh, yeah.
all there. Most of those guys, I mean, Jacoby Jackson's a running
Like,
back.
we
But
talked
most of those
about-
guys are defensive players.
We talked about how great Sapp is. Imagine if Banks was healthy and McCray was healthy.
Yeah, it's
And they have those are the good ones. They got big ones that are hard to deal with too. You know what I mean? They got that's the other, I think that's the thing that people don't know about this roster, just how massive they are. It's the biggest team in the SEC that I ever see in person every year. Other than like Bielema's Arkansas teams, these teams are huge every time I see them. You know who's gotten suspiciously small every time I see them? LSU. LSU doesn't feel big anymore. That's weird. So yeah, and just random thoughts there. Talon Taylor got a good bit of an update today on the teleconference, right?
Yeah, Kirby mentioned that he was back at practice. He's going through walkthroughs. Now back at practice, he's doing conditioning right now. He's on the side doing his own stuff, that he's on the right track. So other than, it wasn't just a typical, we're just hopeful to get Talon Taylor back. It was, hey, he's back doing things right now. He's on a pace right now to where he's going to return. We're excited about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great sign to hear, especially with you've got to feel bad with how his, I don't want to say season ended, because I don't think it's a season-ending injury, but with how that injury came about, where didn't really get that redemption moment, because he had a very promising start to the season.
Mm-hmm. Is it Mr. Massey, Jake Massey in the chat talking about going as the film guy for Halloween?
Someone said they were going to hand out
QR codes. The same guy.
Yeah.
How would you dress up as me?
Glasses, hoodie,
Oh, I don't
joggers,
rock a hoodie all that often.
or polo collared shirt. Or just a
Interesting to see how this goes.
grind the tape shirt.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting. Might win certified ball knower of the week. Might. Still looking for submissions for this week's award winner. I'm going to our merchandise store tomorrow. I'm going to give out and send all those out. So
Nice.
I've been a little delayed on all that good stuff. All right.
Someone
Jay
mentioned
will.
something about the lav mic.
No, they're saying that's what they would put in the costume.
Halloween costume.
Costume. Yeah.
Nice.
What do you got for me, Jay? Will you got a stat rundown?
Yeah, I did some stat digging on this offense because I've been seeing some stuff on the timeline as of late.
Hold on. I didn't mean to stop you there. Go ahead. Sorry. Go.
Just been seeing some stuff on the timeline about how efficient this Georgia offense has been. I believe they've been the most efficient offense in the conference.
So this is what I wanted to do here. This is why I wanted you to run this down. I've been seeing some of the same stuff too, but just periodically. But what the film tells me is that they should be top 20 in just about anything, except for deep explosive passes.
Yeah, so I just kind of wanted to do like maybe some off the wall, did a little stat digging on like some deeper statistical advantages that Georgia kind of brings offensively this year. So I'm just going to read you a few that I found. Georgia ranks 9th in the country for time of possession this season. They are only one of 2 teams to rank inside of the top 50 for total time of possession with just 7 games played. Army is the other team. So you have played one less game than the majority of the teams in the country right now, and you are still dominating the total time of possession. You're still great in the average time of possession, but total time of possession, you are dominating right now. So this offense keeps opposing defense on the field for a long time. And we've seen it time and time again this year where when you need a death march, when Georgia needs to eat up some clock in the fourth quarter, they've been able to do it so far.
They've taken 80 offensive snaps in 2 football games in this conference. That's impressive.
Very impressive.
Moving on. Of teams ranked inside of the top 55 for rushing yards per attempt, Georgia is one of just 5 teams to average at least 4.5 yards per carry while averaging 42 or more carries per game. So in other words, they're running it at a higher clip than most teams right now, and they're still averaging a relatively successful and efficient pace in the running game. So again, 4.5 yards per carry, and you're running it more than the majority of offenses in the country right now.
What is offensive efficiency? Not taking negative plays, consistently moving the ball. Go ahead.
Now I got some fun Gunnar Stockton stats for you right here. Gunnar Stockton is currently the most efficient QB in the country in the fourth quarter. He ranks first in completion percentage with 86.8% completion rate in the fourth quarter with 33 attempts on the season thus far. When games are within one possession, so whether Georgia is winning by 7 or less points or losing by 7 or less points, Stockton has thrown for 740 yards, is completing 69% of his passes, and has thrown for 80 first downs in that time of the game. Gunnar Stockton is one of 7 QBs in the country to complete at least 70% of his passes and throw for 1,100 yards or more against conference opponents this season. He is also one of 8 QBs in the country to have at least 8 passing touchdowns and 1 interception or fewer versus conference opponents. Georgia's 90 attempts on third down ranks 120th in the country. So nice and simple there. You're one of the best offenses in the country of avoiding third down. You don't get into those situations very often. You're staying ahead of the chains, going back to that efficiency standpoint of you don't get into third and longs and you get into third and shorts more than likely, and you're converting also, but you just kind of avoid them altogether, which is a great note. Then the final one I have. Versus conference opponents, Georgia ranks 6th in the country for the average number of first downs per game. The Dogs are averaging 25 first downs per game against SEC teams.
Those Gunnar Stockton stats just scream, I'm a gamer.
Mm-hmm.
When the game's on the line, I'm my best version.
And by the way,
did you say 12 of 12? What'd you say? You said one of them was, first of all, 85% of the fourth quarter? Is that what that was?
In the fourth quarter, he's completing 86% of his passes.
And then what was the next stat you hit off on that one?
Oh, in one possession games?
Yeah.
One possession games. Let me go back and find that one for you. One possession games, Gunnar Stockton is completing 69% of his passes and is throwing for 80 first downs.
Nice. Oh, boy.
But the best part about that is it's not just a when the lights are bright, and he's kind of an average quarterback until he really needs to be great. He's been consistently great the entire game, like the entire season throughout. There's never really been a moment where it's like, ooh, man, Gunnar Stockton's having a bad handful of drives, or like we would see with a Carson Beck or even a Stetson Bennett where it's like for 2 to 3 drives, you're like, what is this guy doing right now? You have not had that with Gunnar Stockton, and it's been a blessing. It's frankly saved your season at times.
Reading those stats after 2 straight years with a first-year starting quarterback who's relatively cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Reading those stats or hearing those stats after being labeled a Mike Bobo defender for as long as I have been, all I ever said was, if you just get him like really good weapons, they'll be all right. The offensive line consistently produces. If y'all can actually execute run schemes, if y'all can run the football, y'all be okay. I think this guy's all right.
Yeah.
But no, I was just labeled a Bobo defender. Bobo sucks. Bobo still sucks, by the way. Like this weekend, if there's a single 3rd and 4 that doesn't go the right way that a Georgia fan doesn't like, Bobo sucks immediately to the
let
timeline.
a perimeter wide receiver miss a block on a screen.
Absolutely.
Oh, Lord.
But the reason I want to talk about that is because I never thought I'd ever get to the day. Never thought I would ever get to the day where we have an article go out that Glenn Schumann is projected to potentially maybe be Florida's head football coach. And our mentions, yours first, are littered with good, I hope they take him.
Oh, yeah. It was a bunch of
good, I hope they take him.
Yeah, I hope that happens. It was a bunch of fingers crossed. Hope this happens. He can go ahead and go. Hope they enjoyed 3rd and Grantham because now you're going to get 3rd and Schumann. Like all kinds of stuff like that. And it got to the point where I had to make another tweet about it. It's just like last year it was everybody wanted to point the finger at Stacy Searles, Mike Bobo, and James Coley because wide receivers can't catch, offensive line can't block. This offense sucks, and it's all their fault. And now you go into this year, and while there is still some vocal people about Mike Bobo, I don't see people really complaining about Stacey Searles. I don't see people complaining about James Coley anymore. I think there's more people now that are like, oh, you know what? Mike Bobo, actually not that bad of an offensive coordinator. Well, since we can't point the finger at those guys right now, I have to be mad at Glenn Schumann. And Glenn Schumann sucks. And it's taken less than one season for that to happen. And I understand the frustration. Like, I get it because you have an expectation of what a Georgia defense should look like. And you have an expectation that your coaches have set an expectation of what this defense should be. And has not been that this year. But, I mean, it's been 8 games, 7 games, and it really hasn't been all that bad, to be honest, outside of, the Ole Miss game was the worst one. But in those other games, your defense locked it down for an entire half and dang near won you those games because of that. So
Didn't
I
we
just don't understand it.
Oklahoma's the best defense in this conference, whether you agree with it or not. The stats say that. Didn't we just see Ole Miss go on the road and put up 34 points against that football team?
We did.
And just walk it on them in the third and fourth quarter? They took 85 snaps. Ole Miss did. Gave up 1 sack. Didn't have a turnover. Like, that's a good offense.
Mm-hmm.
We watched Tennessee. Tennessee's been good all year long. Watch Tennessee go to Lexington, Kentucky, drop down 50.
I mean, that's what I was going to say is 2 of the offenses that you have played so far in Tennessee and Ole Miss, they've been scoring points against everybody outside of Kentucky for Ole Miss. That was the only game, and they were kind of figuring out quarterback at that point. But to this point, they put up points against every single defense, and you've kept up pace with everybody else against Alabama. You didn't just give it up against Alabama points-wise.
Check the third down conversion rates in college football, because I bet Alabama's whipping everybody's ass on third down. They feel like they are. They feel like they're whipping everybody's butt in the criticals, and they got you for an entire 25-minute period.
I mean, Ole Miss is 15th in the country for third down conversion rate. Alabama's 15th for third down conversion rate. Let's see where Tennessee is. Tennessee's 24th.
So, yeah, you've been bad on third down. They've been great on third down. All those football teams have. So, like, again, we're just excuse makers like we were last year for Mike Bobo. But I don't think that's the way you got – it's not you. It's not all y'all. It's just – it is a lot. It's a lot, man.
It's
very public. Like, I get notifications about it because we got metrics on this type of stuff. I get tipped off to people reading hella Glenn Schumann stuff. I'm like, what's going on here? Turns out they're getting ready to get rid of the guy in Jonathan's mentions. Yeah. I'm like, what on earth, man?
It's the unfortunate vocal majority that Georgia fans have dealt with since I've been alive, where if something's not going right, it has to be the fault of somebody, and if it is their fault, they need to get away from the program. There have been defensive back coaches that are should be fired mid-game because Georgia DBs aren't playing well, quarterbacks that should be benched 3 drives into a start because they're not playing well. Whoever it is, there is a large sum, and I don't know why they do this, but there is a faction of Georgia fans that immediately go, get him out of here. He's horrible. He's ruining our team, and celebrate when that player or prospects of that player or coach do leave.
You have double-digit 5 stars on your defense. You aren't everybody else. Chris Cole, Elijah Griffin, KJ Bolden,
Ellis Robinson,
CJ Allen,
Elijah Griffin. What I was going to point out is most of those 5 stars are very young players. And this is the other thing. We walked in this season with Kirby Smart and everybody talking about this is a really young Georgia defense. Look at how much you lost. Like, this is a young group. And, yeah, you're going to see, like, are we shocked that a young group of football players is struggling right now a little bit? Yeah, they might be 5 stars coming out of high school, but, like, majority of those 5 stars you just listed, again, of Elijah Griffin, that's a true freshman right now. Ellis Robinson, first-time starting, second-year player. DeMello Jones was a borderline 5-star. I'll give it to you. Again, first-year starting, second-year player. KJ Bolton, second-year starting in the system right now. Chris Cole, second-year starting in the system right now. Justin Williams, second-year playing in the system right now. Dalen Everett is the veteran 5-star right now on this roster, and that's one of them.
He's playing lights out.
I should probably
CJ Allen was a 5-star. He's playing lights out.
I should probably fix my comment. It's not the vocal majority; it's the vocal minority. But it makes it feel like it's the majority.
I mean, it also, like, I feel like we have to be cautious every once in a while. We talk about this stuff because we feel like we're addressing an entire fan base, but we got people in the chat right here doing it.
I just hate
so
that.
It's not like that we're talking to ghosts or shouting at, what do you call it, shouting at the clouds or whatever. Like, this is a real thing. You guys are very questionative of your defensive coordinator.
And look, I don't mind the frustration that you have with the defense. I don't. But what I hate is, or what I dislike is people acting like Glenn Schumann is just a piece of this staff that you wouldn't miss at all. if he left today. Like, you wouldn't miss the ability he has to recruit the linebacker position right now. You wouldn't miss what he brings to the defensive staff of how analytical he, not analytical he is, but how much time he puts into analyzing offenses.
The reason young players are even able to play at the rate that they are at the University of Georgia is in large part due to Glenn Schumann. And Kirby Smart will tell you that. The best installer that they have in the entire building is their defensive coordinator. The best defensive teacher and educator that they have in that building is Glenn Schumann, period. Also, we've been on the sidelines. We've talked about it. We know. I would say, 50% of the success and failure of your defense rests on the shoulders of your head football coach.
Mm-hmm. And
that is the reality.
Well, I think we also.
So if you got smoke for the DC, you got smoke for the head man too.
I think it also is important that when doing this, because I don't want to seem like the media group that comes out, and anytime there's a complaint, we immediately say, shut up, you're wrong. Because there are reasons to be upset about the way the defense is played this year. Just like there
were last year with the offense. First half starts, lack of execution.
Oh, absolutely.
Like there's reasons to, and they know that too.
They feel
great about it.
So, look, 90th in the country in third down conversion percentage for opponents is not great. There are certainly some things that are not Georgia standard that this defense has exhibited this year. That said, it does not solely fall on Glenn Schumann, and him getting fired is not going to solve all of these issues.
The ever comment, is that what you just audible gas?
Yeah, this is why I honestly hate opening up this can of worms, because then we get comments like that. It's just a never-ending cycle.
Yeah,
I just don't understand.
We're good. Apparently Apparently KJ Bolden was playing blind last year.
Yeah, he said he could not see out of his right eye at all.
Did he not know this?
So
is this one of those things where they went to a what did you call it, physical, and it was like, hey, buddy can't see out of his left eye?
Yeah, so the quote was, him and Nate Frazier were together on a podcast called I Am Athlete on YouTube. It was actually a really good show. They very personal on that.
You sound surprised.
No, a lot of times, you get player interviews for talking for an hour, and it's not great, and it's not
okay.
They had a lot of fun insight about the program and what they enjoy about it, and kind of behind the scenes stuff. So go check that out. But towards the end of that interview, they were talking about, what are your expectations? Because it was obviously filmed before 2025 began. What are your expectations personally for yourself, and yada, yada, yada? And KJ Bolden comes out with the answer of, I'm just expecting to play better, tackle better. And then just out of nowhere reveals, I just got my eyes done. I had eye surgery last year. Or last year I couldn't see. People talk about, they don't know that necessarily. He didn't really specify. I would assume he had LASIK, but he revealed that, yeah, my entire right eye was blurry the entire time. So I could only really see out of one eye, which is just an incredible thing to just casually drop in a podcast. So that was very interesting.
How do if you're tracking a ball and your right eye is the one that turns to it first, and you just can't see at all out of that eye? How are you? I don't know. That's just amazing that you play that position and do that.
It almost makes me want to go look at his tape even further. Because I compared him to, I remember a show very vividly coming after a 7-on-7 coming onto our show in the garage, being like, that kid tracks deep balls like Ichiro Suzuki. And it was off of one play in a 7-on-7 where I think I tweeted the video out. He's playing deep half, and he turns to his right, chases the ball down, and he said he's blind in his left eye?
On his right
eye. He caught it over his right shoulder and would have tracked it with his left eye. You see what I'm saying? It almost makes me want to go do that.
Well, I don't know how
that
long.
That ball against Alabama was on that back right shoulder, but he's fixed it since then. We got LASIK. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
He didn't specify it, but most operations on your eyes when they're blurry does involve LASIK of some sort. So don't want to report anything false, but I would assume it was probably LASIK. But yeah, no, just revealing that, I had surgery in the offseason. That went under the rug was kind of wild in my opinion.
I got film notes.
Yeah, we had a film
More
study.
film notes?
We
Let's
did.
hear it.
More film notes.
Yeah.
I didn't give the David Sanders film notes. That kid is Andrew Thomas. You should watch that. If you like watching me break down film, you should love watching me break down offensive line film. That stuff is, that's good stuff. I had fun doing that today. I think it's my best explanation. I think it's my best explanation of what great tackle footwork looks like. The hovercraft footwork, where it looks like their feet are never in the ground but never off the ground at the same time. They just almost look like, they're so twitchy, they almost look like they float. That's what Andrew Thomas looked like to me, and that's what David Sanders looks like to me right about now. Let's talk about this Florida film notes or Florida film study that we put out today. If you haven't watched it, you should watch it. Let's talk about the offense. Don't know what they will be, okay? Don't know what they will be, but I can tell you what they were. I can tell you what they are. To me, and to anybody who has watched us study them multiple years over now, it's been 3 years of watching this offense. They are Texas without the wide zone. They are a football team that will be in pistol. They'll be in side saddle, but their deep hunt, like play action, if it's not a 50-50 ball to the X receiver that we're going to talk about in a second, it is we're trying to give play action and do deep overs and post and really try to, if the middle of the field's open, we're throwing the post. If the middle field's closed, we're throwing the deep over. Very Texas-y with that regard. And off of those play actions, they have leaks, right? They have tight end leaks in the red zone. They have running back leaks. That sounds like Texas. It feels like Texas when you study them. Again, without the tendency for wide zone, right? And much more of a dependency on a true X receiver. I don't feel like Texas has had a true X receiver. Texas fans are going to be mad thinking about Ryan Wingo, but has Ryan Wingo went for a rack?
No, I mean the closest.
Ryan Wingo seems like a yak guy right about now, doesn't he?
Closest thing they had.
A yak guy in a deep post, huh?
It is his second year, right?
Yeah.
Closest thing they had to a true X was A.D. Mitchell in 2023.
Correct. But this one's much more dependent upon it. Even if, and not to say like Ryan Wingo's not a great player. I'm just saying Florida will line up in 3-by-1 and just give a one-on-one shot to their X a lot more than I ever watched Texas really, really do. You need to be ready to stop individual excellence from these following players. Number 13, Jaden Ball. I think he's one of the best running backs in the conference. He is an elite individual talent, and even if you hit him at 6 yards, he might go 66 yards into the door for a touchdown. All right, so watch out for that. Speaking of 66 and number 6. Number 6, what's my man's name? Dallas Wilson.
Yes.
Number 6, Dallas Wilson. And the third and final individual excellent football player just got removed off of the list. It's Vernell Brown. That guy's great. That guy's 800 yards already, I think. I mean, he's putting it up
I don't know
right about now. It's a lot.
Many.
It's a lot of yardage. He's the leading receiver. I think 600 maybe
I think
already.
He's at like 420, I believe. He currently has 451 yards.
Shaka bra. All right, so maybe not as much as I thought, but he is putting it up every once in a while. But he is out in this football game, so it doesn't really matter. And occasionally, you got to watch out for individual excellence from number 2, the quarterback in DJ Lagway. But most importantly, you got to be ready to take advantage of the inevitable DJ Lagway just hit a defender in the face with the football. You got to catch those. You got to turn him over and got to make a big-time play in those moments. I think this offensive line is really good every time I study them. Mm-hmm. Every time I study this Florida offensive line, I think they're really, really good. The center is extremely athletic. Big, tall, long. Shouldn't say big. Tall, long, athletic. About 6'4.5", about 305, and got big, long arms, big stretched linear football player that they move a lot. I really like number 66, the center from Florida. If they avoid penalties and turnovers, they're as good and explosive as anybody. Their drive charts last week or against Mississippi State were mind-boggling. I think it explains their football team. They had 452 yards of total offense. On 5 of their 11 possessions, they turned it over or gave it back to the defense within 5 plays. It makes no sense. They were 4 of 12 on 3rd down and had 450 yards of total offense.
That is boom or bust.
It's the definition of it. But they have so many penalties, so many turnovers, so many negatives. You have to take advantage of it. They strike fear into me on tape, though. There's no doubt.
They always do, man.
They do, don't they?
Yeah.
They're a talented group.
It's more than that, though. I mean, it never seemed terrible from a schematic standpoint. Now, I know they had awful tendencies. When you looked at the analytics, if he's in this position, very similar to the Falcons like this. If he's in this, if they're in the pistol, they're running the ball. I think they broke some of those tendencies recently. They certainly will this week, and that's what I want to talk about. They're not going to reinvent themselves offensively. They're not going to be a duo football team that suddenly becomes a wide zone football team. They're not going to become or be a pistol football team built off play action that suddenly becomes let's live. Maybe they do live in empty. Maybe they do something like that. But I don't think they're just going to suddenly change the core of their identity. What they might change is maybe we play with a lot more pace. Maybe we take a lot more shots. Maybe we be a little bit more aggressive. Maybe we play like we have nothing to lose because we have nothing to lose. Maybe that type of stuff changes, but I don't think the core tendencies of who they are will ultimately flip around offensively. their core identity, I should say their core tendencies might change, right? Like we kept finding Billy's a spamming guy on spamming mesh on third and medium. If it's 3rd and 5 or less with Billy Napier calling plays, you're getting mesh Z spot. You can guarantee it. And there ain't no mesh return like change up that's getting thrown at you. You're just going to get that. And I don't know if that's because that's a Billy thing or if he seems to have a lot of tendencies, or if that's because that was a DJ Lagway thing. That's just what he was comfortable with. But I would argue he don't look too comfortable running mesh. I've seen him misread it several times. I've seen his footwork look like poop several times. I've seen him hold the football on it several times. I think it was a Billy thing. So those types of tendencies might ultimately break. Let's talk about the defensive side of the football. I think they're a carbon copy of what you were in like 2022. You're much more of a keep everything in front of you, don't play as much bump and run man-to-man unless we have to because Ole Miss is eating us up in zone coverage. They do a lot of what you guys used to from a cover 7 standpoint. That's why I was so damn confused about what they do, because Saban's cover 7 and anybody running any type of version of it, stubby or whatever against 3, I'm like, buddy, it's over my head. I'm sorry. I can't figure it out. And because they all install it different. They all teach it different. I went to 4 or 5 of these defensive staff meetings this year that all run some version of cover 7 that we're all teaching it, and not only teaching it, speaking it differently. Way over my head. And I've been watching Georgia run a version of it for 6-7 years. So there's that. Lots of playmakers on the defensive side of the football, though. Love 94 and love number 5.
That's what I was going to say. It is really commendable for this Florida defense with as many names as you read off on the injury report, Kirby, especially big-time names. Like guys that are like going into the season, like Caleb Banks, that's a star player. LJ McCray, that's a star player for them. Aaron Gates, that's a big-time contributor for them this year. Losing 3 of those guys, and still, we broke down the film today, and one of your takeaways is, man, they have great playmakers. Like, that's commendable to them. Like, and it's so weird, again, like, how it didn't work out at Florida for them. And I truly believe it boils down to, like, it was just taken on too much or wasn't involved in enough, because you had so much talent on that roster, it seemed like, for the last 2 years, and didn't do anything with it.
JS Webb wants to know about cover 3. Those are the easy ones for me. Cover 3, cover 4, cover 6, cover 1, cover 2. Very, very easy. You start talking about cover 7 or whatever you want to call that. That's a mind-boggling one to me, because it's all different principles too. And that's why Saban was a magician. And that's why Kirby's a magician, because they played it all. It all has different principles every time you do it. What's up?
Was that what I thought it was?
I made a weird noise.
I thought
I drank water and it made like that little like.
Bro, it was over
noise.
here gargling.
Don't out me like that, dude. Come on. Now you got me all nervous.
Bro, I heard gargling. That's crazy.
Sorry, Jay Will.
What if Wednesday?
Yes.
Local edition. Guys, what if DeMello or Ellis, what if either one of them has played their way into being the guy and is better than the other one, but both of them are going to have to play next year anyways, so you just keep rotating?
I think that we came into the season saying there's 4 guys that can start at corner. We're down to 3 now, I think. And I think that you're going to stay at that 3 because next year that Dalen Everett will be going to the NFL draft, and you're going to need both of those guys to feel like they have starting positions. So I think that you're going to see this where they're rotating, essentially. I don't know if there's ever going to be a DeMello Jones starting all the time now.
Yeah, knowing that those 2 are going to be your guy more than likely at corner next year, we got to make sure that they're as ready and as seasoned as possible to where next year you're ready to go.
Maybe this is a way to avoid one of them being picked on.
Oh, yeah.
Could be.
Just rotate them so much when they're young that by the time both of them are on the field together, they're both seasoned.
I mean, this will be the first time in 3 years that Georgia won't
really
have
rotates.
like a returning veteran DB. That's what I'm getting at. Of like, Dalen Everett returned this past year. You had Kamari Lassiter returning as well. Like, this will be the first year that you don't have a guy that was like fully starting for you at a cornerback and returning next year. Next year it's going to be 2 guys that have rotated.
So I guess it would make sense to get them both seasoned this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you got for me?
What if Georgia just breaks Florida's will?
I
think
I've been waiting for that to happen for a while.
I know, and it's a redundant
it just
question.
Hasn't happened.
It hasn't. But
it's like, will LSU develop a run game? Will Florida quit?
You're right. I mean, it is week 10. Like, you are just who you are at some point.
Maybe those guys are just fighters.
Yeah.
I would Which roster is more pillageable and more advantageous to you as a football coach? If Auburn were to fire Hugh in that roster, or what we just watched from Florida on film?
I'd say probably. Well,
Both have recruited inside the top 12, by the way.
It boils down to a relationship standpoint at that point. I mean, they're both equally talented guys, and there's a lot of guys that you recruited there.
Yeah.
I don't know the ratio
what?
of what Georgia had contacts with either of them.
I would say probably Florida's, because when I look at Auburn's, like, the guys that you're going to go after are, Cam Coleman. Well, Cam Coleman's going to be like the most expensive wide receiver in the transfer portal.
I would say Florida's roster would be more advantageous to you because you recruited a lot of those kids out of high school.
Yeah.
Auburn doesn't. Auburn has like DeMarcus Riddick, who I think you flirted with. I don't think you recruited Cam.
He was committed to Georgia at one
I don't
point.
think you recruited Cam that hard.
Yeah.
I don't think you recruited Jared Smith that hard. I think you recruited the young safety that's playing for them at Auburn pretty hard, but the kid out of Alabasta or whatever it is out there in Alabama. But you recruited a lot of them kids at Florida, a lot of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
LJ McCray, you were heavy on. I think he committed to Georgia at one point.
He was
too.
committed to Georgia at one point.
Yeah, so I think it's just a lot more.
Yeah, a lot more
I might be
crossover.
Interested in.
I got one.
Come on.
What if we get a bad day from Gunnar Stockton?
What does that look like?
2 picks, turnovers, a 65% completion percentage.
2 picks would be a totally different type of performance than what this kid's put on.
Okay, then 1 turnover, 65% completion.
Honestly, like the 1 turnover game against, I didn't feel like that was a bad game from him. So 2 picks would be a bad game.
Yeah.
Then you're probably in a similar situation to what you were in last year.
Hold on. Can we extend this? What if, does DJ turn it over too?
DJ Lagway plays like DJ Lagway plays.
So you just so we just net neutral turnovers?
Probably.
I think you're all right.
I asked that because
I think you're all right. If Gunnar has the uncharacteristic turnover game and DJ has the uncharacteristic I protected the football game, you just handed an explosive football team 2 possessions.
Yeah, and I asked that because you overcame a bad game from Carson Beck last year. You overcame a bad game from Stetson Bennett in 2021. So you've had to overcome some bad quarterback play. I don't think that if Gunnar Stockton doesn't have a great game, you should panic a ton, because history states that you've been able to, even if your quarterback isn't playing his best game, find a way to win that.
Now, I know Chauncey's best game was against Alabama, and then we have to leave the Auburn game with a calf strain. But I felt like leading up to that Auburn game, every time I watched Chauncey take a carry, he was getting better and better and better. What if the time off against Auburn, the time off in the bye week, what if we come back and we have our best performance to date?
I mean, I think you could make the argument that you might get that from both of your running backs. I think that Nate Frazier has been working towards this. Chauncey Bowens was showing signs of this before he was limited in an Auburn game. Now he's felt like he's trying to get the momentum back. Like, we're at the bye week now going into the latter half of the season, like, what if both of those guys is like, they found the missing piece to whatever their game was, and now they're both just opening it up.
Chat's got a great one. What if you don't punt again? Does Brett Thorson stop traveling?
This leads into a hypothetical question. Why do high-profile punters and highly recruited punters go to teams with good offenses? Is the whole reason you go to a place in college is to punt and to get tape on field? Why are you going to a school that?
Do you need that much tape? I thought for kickers you just needed a massive boot, and that's that.
Yeah,
just boot the beach. I figured the more opportunities you have to punt, the more opportunities you have for your punt yardage to be impacted by returns.
That's true too.
Like, if he goes out there and boots 12 punts this year and bombs them all, I think it's part of the reason why he went 2 years in his career without a yardage return.
Yeah.
Well, that might be another reason why guys come to Georgia. They know the damn punt unit ain't gonna give up no yardage.
Well, what I was gonna bring up too is
that's a net yardage statistic, guy, not a quantity. It's not like a shooter. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
I was gonna point out that, like, all right, in 2022. Georgia was 124th in the country for a number of punts. In other words, they did not punt a lot. They punted 34 times the entire season. Yeah, some of Brett Thorson's most – if Brett Thorson had a highlight reel, there's probably 4 or 5 punts from that season that's going on his highlight reel. Like, the Tennessee one is the one that everybody's always going to remember.
That still gets run.
Yeah, I mean, it still gets played. It still gets engagement, all that stuff. So, like, He's had a limited number of opportunities, but
And
he capitalizes.
I would argue, and now this is very biased because I only cover this football team this closely and passionately, or I should say, what's a word? Intimately. I would argue Rodrigo Blankenship and Brett Thorson are the most famous special teams players, not named Harrison Mevis because he's big, that the conference has seen in the last 5, 6, 7 years. Who's more famous than Rodrigo Blankenship?
That's a great point.
That's why you go to Georgia as a specialist.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is a great point.
Rodrigo's a trailblazer, man.
Now, Brett Thorson might have had this because he's an Aussie. But we've had Aussies at LSU.
Mm-hmm.
We've had Aussies in the
they're
league.
everywhere now.
They're everywhere.
I think the difference is Brett Thorson's funny. He's got a personality to him.
Yeah. I mean, it's a him thing.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I mean, it's a platform. You know, it's a massive platform.
Great point.
Thank you, sir.
What
Almost
if
like I give takes for a living.
you talk about a running back coming back and having, a big performance? What if this is the Dwight Phillips reemergence? Because we talked about it. We don't really know what happened to him. He was the running back 1A and B with him and Nate Frazier at the start of the season.
You want a big showing from Lil Nut? We about had one in that cartwheel. I'm getting sent footage.
Whoa. First off, why'd you have to demean yourself like that? You didn't have to publicly do that.
Anything for the joke, Jonathan. Anything for the joke.
That was insane. But what if this is like, hey, Dwight Phillips is back and he's got 4 carries for 85 yards?
I think that what you could maybe see for Dwight Phillips in this one is maybe you start getting a little more creative with how you use him. Hey, Nate Frazier and Chauncey Bowens and Cash Jones, those are going to be the 3 guys that we really use in the running back room. But Dwight Phillips, we know, is great. He needs to be on the field at times. Maybe we need to create some things for him to get the ball. Maybe you see a little creativity in that regard.
I got one more. What if white jerseys are a good luck charm in this game? And this was, once again, me.
They look better in white in this game for some reason. I don't know why.
I
that
agree.
is.
My favorite year was when both teams wore their home jerseys.
Well, they did that 3 years in a row, and Georgia lost all of them.
Oh, the black jerseys are cursed. The home and home jerseys are cursed for Georgia.
But what if white jerseys are the good luck charm? Georgia is 4-0 under Kirby Smart when wearing white jerseys against Florida. They haven't lost a game in Jacksonville since 2006. Now, there is one caveat to this. I'm not even going to read the chat because I'm going to finish this take. The one caveat is 2009 when they wore white jerseys, but they had
That's an admin, bro.
They had black
That's
helmets
an admin.
and black pants. So, just floating that out there, what if that is the case?
It's an interesting take you have there, Kirby.
That's what got y'all laughing?
Bro,
that joke's been made 30 times on this show.
I was more
know.
so laughing at him laughing. And the fact that it is an admin.
What if Noah Thomas is better than Colby Young?
Get ready, SEC. Good Lord. I don't know if you could get much better than Colby Young.
Honest to God, what if it's like one of those situations where they messed around and found out and didn't know?
I could certainly.
It happens at quarterback all the time.
Yeah.
Why can't it happen at wide receiver?
I think it's
going to be a different grade, by the way.
That's
I'm
what
going to cut
I
you off.
think
It's a total different grade.
I think if Noah Thomas was better than Colby Young, you'd be like, oh, this guy's going.
Colby's 12 for 150. This kid could be 8 for 150.
That's what I was going to say.
It's totally different.
I think there's potential for Noah to create like way more explosive plays and be more open downfield to where it's not, oh, we're just like Colby Young's about to make a great play because he's going to body this DB. It's for Noah Thomas is, Noah Thomas is about to have a 70-yard touchdown reception because he burnt the DB.
And by the way, I feel like Noah Thomas has been a major asset to this offense, not by statistically because he has 4 catches. I feel like the last 3 or 4 times he's been on the field, he extends drives simply because he gets OP or DPIs.
Yeah. And it's going to get to a point with this guy. You've seen it on tape. He starts to tilt the field because of what you're talking about. Like, if Colby gets you, he's going to get you 12 yards at a time. They're going to throw a stop on him, and he's going to be a bitch to tackle. Like, that's what Colby's doing right now or was doing. Noah makes a defensive coordinator go, hey, if I don't put a safety over that guy, he's going to score right now. That's a totally different fear.
Yeah.
If it goes hot. Colby goes hot, and it's like, golly, I got to tackle this guy in the fourth quarter. Noah goes hot, and it's like, if we don't move a safety over there, he's going to run by a corner. And that's scary to a defensive coordinator.
Yeah, it is.
That is interesting, though, because, I mean, it's a completely real possibility that it once again changes the dynamic of your offense.
Absolutely. You got any more what ifs?
I think it's prediction time.
Oh, boy, is it ever prediction time. Ladies and gentlemen, we got the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. If you're watching this right now and you're going to be in Jacksonville, we have a Film Guy Fam tailgate. Lot P, pull up on us. We're going to have some good food.
Are you really
and
manning
some
the
good
grill?
vibes. Huh?
Are you really manning the grill?
I don't man grills. I eat the meat. I don't cook it.
So how do
Pushing
you,
peas and flipping cheeseburger and cheese.
That's not what it is. It's hamburgers with cheese. Get it right. If you're going to mock
So wait,
me,
if
mock
you
me
don't-
right.
if you eat the meat and you don't cook it, what do you do here at your house?
I cook my own meat in my domicile.
Okay. Sure.
Domicile.
Tomato.
I don't call it that, so I don't know.
The Georgia Bulldogs, 7.5-point favorite in this
Still.
foosball game. Still holding strong. Keys to the ball game, I got a lot of them. Offensively, get Noah Thomas touches early. This is a confidence football player. If he gets touches earlier, if he gets explosives earlier, he will be hot for a full 4 quarters. He will tilt that field like we just got done talking about it. Speaking of the field, I think the middle of the field is very open against this Florida defense. They like to play a lot too high. Like to play that cover 7 like we were talking about earlier. Like to split that coverage unit back there. We've got to break that. We've got to break that, whether it be running the football, making them get out of that and play a single high, or whether it be because we are attacking the middle of the field with the tight end one way or the other. You saw it on film. When you get into duos, the middle of this field is wide open, wide open. We got to figure out a way to explosively attack that. Offensive line's got to be ready for Tyreek Sapp. I don't think there's a football player that's going to play harder on the line of scrimmage for Florida than number 94. All right? Now, if I saw somebody with them pant legs rolled up that high as a defense lineman, we might put a face mask on that knee. That's just me. But these guys don't do that. They play upright. They play NFL football. They do not cut like Missouri does. They do not cut like Texas now does. Have you seen that? They are cutting. They don't do that at the University of Georgia, but I would. Run the football as usual normally for this offense, but do it against a big unit. It's a big defensive unit from Florida.
Man, you're all over.
It's a big defensive unit for Florida. Defensively for Georgia, keys to this one, take advantage of multiple mistakes that they will ultimately make. All the interceptable passes have to be intercepted. All of the drives that start 1st and 20 because they had a hold on first down, those got to be punts. They cannot convert those opportunities. When they shoot themselves in the foot, they have to be carted off. It has to be that. We can't allow them to continue to live there, and certainly be prepared for the unknown. They are volatile. You've got to make them pay for the dips.
You know, going into that, like turnovers are even more pivotal for Georgia in this matchup because you haven't forced a whole lot of them going into the year, and definitely haven't forced a whole lot of interceptions. So if DJ Lagway is going to offer them up to you, like literally almost go, here, you better catch those and you better take them.
Has he had a tight window interception yet?
I don't think.
Where it's like,
not that I've
man,
seen.
guy was just competing a little bit too much.
Yeah.
All of them are like, why are we throwing that ball, man? We can't throw that ball.
Was there a receiver there? I don't think I saw
Could
one.
you stare at him any longer?
And then I think, like, really, if you're going to limit explosives from this Florida offense, it starts with number 13 and number 6. Like, those are the two guys that I think you really fear creating explosives on this offense. Of Dallas Wilson creating a deep shot against you, and he gets a 50-yard reception or a 40-yard reception, and then Jaden Baugh just finding a crease and hitting it.
See that super chat? You better start locking in.
Yeah, I think I had Vernell Brown's status as an X factor, key to this matchup. Obviously, he's not out, so that's big for Georgia. How much of Florida's game plan offensively revolves around them just saying, we're going to try to get the ball to guys? How much is it instead of scheming the
Players not played.
Yeah, just, hey, we're just going to spam Dallas Wilson here. I think that'll be interesting to watch. I don't know who that favors in that regard because Florida still has very talented players, but that is something to watch for me. Obviously, we talked on the DJ Lagway mistakes. And for Georgia, what the key factor for me is how frequently and how successfully can you just play your version of offense? Because the version of offense we just talked about, it's one of the most efficient in the country. It's going to score points. It's going to work. How many times can you just chug down the field without turnovers, without mistakes, without 3 and outs, and just get the ball in the end zone or get yourself in a position to score points?
You mentioned it, players not plays. You alluded to it. I think this is what this Florida staff will ultimately rely on. They're going to rely on chunks and explosives from Dallas Wilson. They're going to rely on Jaden Baugh. They should. They should go into this game saying, if we're going to win, it's because Dallas Wilson flipped the field, and every time they were worried about Dallas, we hit them in the face with Jaden Ball. I think that's their only recipe for offensive consistent success without turning it over. If they go back to regular system, I think my man's going to turn it over. X factor in this football game, it's been kind of your sticking your craw as a fan. The thing you're most worried about is these slow starts, right? And you kind of got away from it against Ole Miss. You handled business early in that football game, and obviously you didn't sweat one out last week during the bye, but it's been something you've struggled with for the better part of the last year and a half, almost 2 years, it feels like. That so much so plays into your advantage in this football game with so many unknowns about this Florida football team, with so many, what are they going to be? What are they going to play like? How's this offense going to come out? Is the defense going to be what they've been so far this year? Like, what are they going to be? You're in adjustment mode this entire prep for this football game. You're in adjustment mode the first 4 or 5 series in this ball game. You've been in adjustment mode trying to crawl your way back in football games for the better part of the last 2 years. That is an X factor. Your ability to adjust as a coaching staff is the biggest X factor in this football game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm dating back in my head. I think the last time Georgia led at the half and lost a football game was in 2020 against Bama. So it doesn't happen that often, and when it does, it's against the boogeyman. So if Georgia has a lead at any point in the half time of this game, they're going to be in really good situation. So absolutely. I think my X factor here was Dallas Wilson for what I said. He is kind of the last man standing as far as big play factors go. Jaden Ball is going to be one you have to pay attention to, but I've never personally been scared of a running back against a Georgia defense. I think that Kirby Smart and that defensive scheme has always handled star running backs well. You're making a face like that, but
well, no, I'm just remembering like he coached Derrick Henry at Alabama, so that didn't count. Right?
Correct.
Okay, so yeah, you probably haven't feared one when he's been here.
I can't remember a time within the last 3 to 4 years where it's been that team beat us because that running back was just all over us all day. Jaden Ball is going to have an impact on this game. He's a great player, but I think Dallas Wilson has the game breaker ability, the X factor ability for Florida.
I think the X factor for me is, as great as Florida's defense is, I think they are gettable somewhat in the secondary. And from what we saw in film, if you have to make them tackle you, so for that reason, it's going to be Zachariah Branch for me, the king of yards after the catch in this Georgia offense, and really in all of college football right now. He's been one of the best in the country. So getting that guy some quick hitters, and good luck tackling that guy and tackling before he gets to sticks. I think that's a big X factor for this offense.
Gators gunned down by Gunnar Glockton. Dogs cooked the Gators behind Tree Fitty from Gunnar Stockton. You heard it here first.
Is that 350 total? Or
Tree Fitty. I'm talking about Tree Fitty in this football game.
Right, but
you're asking the wrong questions. Tree Fitty in this football game anyway, anyhow.
I was going to say, if he's
Dogs roll on the back of Gunnar Glockton.
Well, I was going to ask, if he's throwing for 350, he's probably got 400 yards of total offense. That's what I'm asking.
That's quick mouth.
Noah Thomas has the breakout performance against the Florida Gators. Goes for 163 yards and 2 touchdowns. You heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
I don't think we have a player necessarily have a breakout game in this matchup, but I do think Georgia is going to run the ball and break this team's will, and they're going to do it explosively. Give me Georgia having 5 rushing plays of 20-plus yards or more. You heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
Don't say shit to their undisciplined asses. Dogs, 34-24.
I got Georgia 31-20 in this game.
I went Georgia 31, Florida 14.
Ooh.
I think that this is a Florida offense that has the potential to be explosive. They also sputter a good bit. And like we said, they turn the ball over. I think that if Georgia gets a 10-point lead in here, they're going to comfortably, not sit on the football, but they're going to be very comfortable going into autopilot here. I'm feeling comfortable with Georgia winning this game.
We obviously have a whole nother show tomorrow, but what are y'all most excited for about this weekend?
I know that there's a lot of Georgia fans out there that think this game should be played at home and home, and there's an argument that the environment would be crazier in Athens, but growing up as a kid and seeing the lore of all this and hearing the legends of, going to Jacksonville, it was so cool to me to think about. So when I actually got to do it, now that this is become an annual tradition for me, just being in that environment again, even if, there are some arguments and if the stadium isn't great and all those things and some people don't like the city of Jacksonville, I do love going to this game as a Georgia fan.
It's my favorite trip every year because of Friday night, though. It's because we go through – and because of the people, we don't get bumped into more often than we do in this game. And not that it just makes me feel good to be around the people that live on this show all the time, every time. But Friday night's game at Wintersville is going to be insane at Valdosta, and then to get up the next day and just live college football at its utmost peak with regards to pregame festivities. That city is on fire from 8 a.m. to about 7:30, and then it empties out quicker than you'd ever seen.
Another thing I'll add, this game always to me signified the beginning of the fall season. I know that it's technically fall now and the weather's getting cold, but I always remember feeling when this game's on, the weather's finally cooling off. It's actually fall now. You've either just celebrated Halloween or it's coming right around the corner or it might be Halloween. So it's always been a lot of fun for me.
They mess around and get a sneaky 84-degree day down there, though.
Once in a while. It was hot last year.
It was hotter than hell last year. Hey, let's hit these super chats before we get out of here. Let's see here. Got to start with Jake P. Said, Florida, born and raised, but a lifelong dog fan. I live in Alaska now and look forward to listening to you guys every night when I get home from work. Keep up the solid work, guys.
Florida to Alaska is quite the weather change.
Is it the time of the year where the sun doesn't go down out there?
I think it's getting close to that, yeah.
That's cool. Jonathan Degel says, are they playing conservative to protect young DBs? Media heads also talking about sacks. Just Georgia was 43rd in 2022 2-gap. To answer Jonathan's question, I spoke to an SEC football coach that prepared for Georgia this year and said that was the case. They're totally different. They play a lot of keep everything in front of you right now. I think it's to limit explosives.
They have. They're number one in the SEC for limited explosives.
That's called a layup, Jonathan. Not a boy. McLovinator 1324 says we'll be at Wintersville game on Friday. As a Valdosta alum, hope to catch you there, Brooksy. You'll catch me and the boys on the sideline.
All three of us.
All three of us.
Just don't yell at us during the national anthem like the one guy did last year.
Who did that?
We don't know who it was, but
don't know who it was, but that's a great shout.
It was the national anthem was playing, and there's a dude at the top of the stadium going, "Film guy!"
Didn't get my attention on the film guy, then shouted, "Austin!"
Yeah,
and got me on that one. Yeah, just behave.
Yeah, please
behave. R.W. Brown SC says, who's the next great DC? Tucker Lanning Schumann is the next one already in Athens. Obviously, it's a smart defense. Can Jay Will do Stockton's impression? I don't know who the next great young defensive coordinator is. I can't answer that question right now. I don't know the answer to it. I don't know. It's a great question. Hey, Gunner, you grew up in the state of Georgia. I mean, you're a Rabun County kid. That's Northeast Georgia, but obviously grew up a diehard dog fan. I mean, your sister's named Georgia, for Christ's sake. What are your thoughts on starting this game in Jacksonville for the first time?
Oh, it's been a dream of mine. You dream about playing at Georgia, playing in Athens, and this is one of those games that, I don't know, you sit at home watching it, and you just hope that one day as a kid you get to do that as well. So just really excited.
Gunner, you obviously lose Colby Young this week. Unfortunate leg injury. How do you think the team has responded in practice without a leader in Colby this week?
Yeah, Colby's a great player for us, but it's always a next man up mentality, and all we have to do is the rest of us just got to go there and execute the game plan and do our job.
Heck yeah, man.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah, man.
Go Dogs.
Hope you guys had fun tonight. We sure as heck did. Hit that thumbs up button on your way out.